3, 2.
Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You are now tuning in to episode 102 of the Off the Menu podcast. I am your friend, your host, Key, here with my my co-host, Tay.
Hello, everyone.
And a special guest, a very special guest. I am happy to introduce to you Albert Archuleta, entrepreneur, business owner, barber, go-getter, big stepper, going crazy. Damn, I kind of fucked that one up, man.
Oh, man, it's all good. Your timing was a little off on that one because you didn't have the extra body
true.
here.
That's true.
Because I can kind of tell that you wanted to say a third name because it had to go on with your beat, right?
Yes.
So it didn't really
That's how
flow.
it goes, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, man. But thank you guys for tuning in. Episode 102 Off the Menu podcast. We are glad to be here again.
Going crazy.
Man, yeah, dude. Every time I just think about now we're in just triple digits of doing the podcast. This week has been weird
It's
because
crazy.
Last week we had a power outage at the house, so we couldn't shoot last Monday. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, man, dude, it's been a while since I've done the podcast.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Right?
I don't think I've been back since the 100th.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, man, it feels good to be back, though, man. It feels good to be back.
Yes, sir. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We are doing a giveaway at the moment.
Yeah.
For Shaq and DJ Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be here August 22nd. We teamed up with Canary Live and LNE Presents. Go to the Off the Menu Instagram and then go and sign up. Go ahead and just tag 3 friends, share the post, and then we'll do a giveaway this Sunday here on the 11th at noon.
What is it again? 4 tickets, right?
Yeah, so
4 tickets?
4 tickets, but it's 2 winners, so they each get a pair.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good. Go to Off the Menu. Going crazy, man.
Yeah, but we're going to start off the episode. For the viewers, who are you and what do you do?
First of all, thanks for having me.
Of course, bro. Of course.
My name's Albert Archuleta, owner of Regal Barber Co. We have 3 locations. I'm a father, got 5 kids.
Wow. You busy, bro.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah, started young, you know what I mean? So, and then, business owner, teacher, instructor, educator for barbering.
Okay.
And yeah, man, just living life grateful.
That's awesome, bro. Were you born and raised here in Utah? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in Kearns for a while, Taylorsville. I went to Contwood High.
Okay.
They bust us, from
Yeah,
Taylorsville area.
That's what we did too. We lived right here on in between 54 and 6200 South, right off 32 West.
Oh yeah.
And so my brother and all them they got picked up there. Yeah, you know which one?
Yeah. I went to school with all my boys from the pit. Yeah, I lived just a little more south from there, but yeah, that's where they shipped us to. So
You said ship this.
hey man, it was good times, man. I had to wake up early as hell, but riding the bus, being to school early, gave you time to socialize.
Yeah. How old are you, bro?
About to be 36.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, still
we
young.
go.
You still look young.
Yeah, man.
We try to stay young.
That's good, man. That's good. You said you had your first very young. When did you have your first?
So I got my wife, or my girl at the time, not my wife. She got pregnant at 16.
Yeah.
So I had my first kid at 17.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And then bam, right after that, had another one at 18. They're like 11 months apart.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they call it Irish twins. So they're in the same grade.
Wow,
Really?
that's so funny because
That's crazy.
you guys had the same
Are
conversation.
me and my brother Irish twins?
You guys were in the same grade though,
No, you're right. No.
but you guys are only 11 months apart.
Oh, yeah.
Something
So
like
something
couple
like that.
days. Couple days apart.
12, 11 months, and
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
so my
that,
kids are
man.
the same age for a whole month every year.
they're like 7
That's
days,
crazy.
right?
Ours, we're so my brother's birthday's August 8th, and my birthday's August 21st. So this year I turned 28. On August 8th, he'll be 28.
Oh, yeah.
And then August 21st, he'll be 27. I'm 27. And then August 21st, I'll be 28.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing, but they're in the same
My
grade.
daughter hates it.
That's crazy.
She's like, I'm the big sister. He's like, nope. Every month, he's like,
Yeah.
nope, we're the same age.
Barely, huh? That's what she says.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they're about to be seniors, so they
Wow.
should be graduating this school year. So.
That's dope, bro. Yeah,
Wow.
congrats, bro.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Thank you.
dope.
Starting young and then being able to like figure things out for yourself, and now you run 3 successful businesses. I would say, we see you at the conventions, we see you there, co-hosting the events. That's amazing that you have been able to do that in your time.
Absolutely.
While being a father of 5 is amazing too. That's got to be like, some days you just like, man, I just want to rest, but most of the time you're just on the go.
There's days where I get home from work and deal with a lot of people, all the businesses, and I'm just like, I'm going to my room, kids. Like, my social battery's done. I was
just about to say that, because I know like Barry, he be talking to a lot of foods all day too. Like all day you're just chopping it up with people. I bet my social battery, bro, I'm done. Like don't talk.
You're
to me.
an unlicensed therapist.
That's what you are. Basically, I'm hearing all the good stuff, bad stuff, everything in between, all the dark secrets. I'm like, damn, for real,
That's crazy, bro.
So, yeah, man, it's good though. I enjoy it. I feel like I get to help a lot of people, guide people, and then I also learn as well, because like my target demographic is entrepreneurs.
Absolutely,
because I'm really interested in entrepreneurship. Yeah, I'm doing it, but there's levels. I got people that come get a cut and they're just way past me, and everybody's like, my family, because from where I come from is like, what I'm doing is pretty impressive,
Absolutely.
But then I go around, some of my entrepreneur friends, and I'm like, damn,
haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Ain't shit.
Yeah, that's how it be. That's how it
but
be.
I'm great. But at the same time,
sure.
I'm grateful, for where I'm at, and I know if I see myself 10 years ago, I'd be like, damn, bro, for real.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely grateful. It's just always, I like to have people around me that are doing better, so that way I got something to, we can move the goalposts. Like, I'm not trying to be status quo. I'm trying to level up, like I actually cut one of my entrepreneur friends the other day, and I told him, I said, man, remember when you told me I was comfortable? And at the time I had one shop with 8 chairs. We were killing it, winning awards. And, I was just like, the fuck? Like, so at the time I got real defensive for about 4 hours. And then when I got off work, I started really thinking about it. I'm like, that's actually cool for someone to tell me that's doing better.
Right.
Because then obviously he sees more potential in me than I see in myself.
Right.
Where I'm over here like patting myself on the back like, yeah, good job. So.
Well, I mean, there's only 1 or 2 ways to take that, right? You can either like, fuck, man.
You take it with a grain of salt, or you take it up the ass. Like that's that's how you look at it. And sometimes you really have to, when someone else is like, they're doing slightly better than you, or they are doing better than you. That's something you take with a grain of salt. It's like, man, am I really comfortable?
Right.
I'm doing amazing, but you could be doing better.
Right.
There's always better in life, right?
Always.
So it's amazing that you were able to man, 4 hours. Like, nah, man, he's right. Like I can do something else.
But I appreciate having people like that in my life and around me. Like, I hope to be that person. Sometimes you gotta be the asshole, and I could do that. No. But it's really like when you look at the longevity, it's really doing somebody a favor. So
I think you hit it right on the head, right? Because like this homie of yours, he knows where you can take it. He knows your potential. Yeah. He knows what you can do, right? So he's just like subtly just letting you know, like, hey man, like you might be a little too comfortable here, But it's cool now. Look at you now, man. You got 3 locations, like you're grinding.
Yeah.
So and man, it's only up from here, right? Because we can always be progressing. But, I think the most important thing, too, is just to take everything at your own pace. You don't want to bite off too much all at once. So, no, man, I think it's dope. I think it's dope about that, because we do need people like that. We do need people in our life to, because everyone gets comfortable, and the best thing that I can say is, like, you got to be comfortable with not being comfortable. Yeah. That's like the best way to level up. Right. It's just don't get too comfortable, and just keep pushing. Yeah. Just keep pushing. Make it further.
Yeah. I have a client too that he's a big entrepreneur, makes a lot of money. And then, there's times where sometimes I'll feel comfortable, or else I'll just talk to him and listen to him. And he's like, man, I got fat cat syndrome right now. I'm like, what's that? And he's just like, when, I'm just chilling, I'm eating, I'm doing good. Yeah. I'm chilling, but I think that's a big important part of growth, is being able to be aware of that too. Because at the same time, sometimes it's cool to just chill.
Absolutely.
Obviously not for too long. You know what I'm saying? Because in business, people are nipping at your heels, but to have that awareness, it's a blessing.
Everything's a balance, man. Because you don't want to be too focused on certain things where where you compromise, like, you know, being present with the kids and other things in life, or other aspects of the life too. So no, I think you're right. You just gotta, there's a good balance to finding it, right? And I don't know, it might sound like you might be there, bro. You might have a good balance right now.
Hey man, entrepreneurship, I'd be like, oh yeah, man, my balance is like, I'm good, I'm balanced, I'm this and that. But you know, next month, you know, we might have 6 people quit.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, oh damn, I gotta work. You know, like I gotta do, you know, I gotta switch it up. I gotta grow myself. I gotta grow my leadership. I gotta figure out what I'm doing wrong to not, you know, retain these people and or, you know, just guide them, whatever the case may be. But yeah,
it's crazy.
You know, when it's good, it's good. You know, you gotta stop and smell the flowers.
Absolutely.
So, when did you begin this career path of, you know, entrepreneurship? So you started as a barber first, and then eventually you're just
take us back, man. I want to hear it from the start.
If I'm keeping it real, it started when my you know, my first baby mama was pregnant, you know, and I was, you know, 16, young, and I was in a spot where I was, you know, there was nights where we were homeless, me and my baby mom, and she was pregnant, and you know, we caught ourselves like sleeping in the car because we're in hotels. Because I mean, part of it was like, it was my choice because, you know, me and my mom had some, you know, we're bumping heads. It didn't, you know, I didn't want to stay there. So I chose, you know, it wasn't like, oh, poor me, I'm homeless. No, it's like, I chose that.
Right.
And, you know, living like that, as soon as, you know, my girl was like, oh, I'm pregnant, you know, that's when I was like, damn, I got to change something.
Yeah.
So, you know, going through just being broke, being a bum, essentially, you know, is what it felt like. It just taught me a lot because it's not what I want. And then when you're bringing in a kid, you know, it's like, damn, like, is this what a father should look like? Hell no. Like, I can't bring a kid in and be homeless and, you know, not have a job and have excuses and have this shitty mindset of like, I'm mad at the world. Like, what is that going to teach my kids? So, you know, I started, you know, working and getting a job, and while I got a job, I started kicking it with, you know, some of the homies, and, you know, they were just like, hey, man, I was buying weed from one of my cousins, you know what I mean? And he was like, I would just go all the time, but it wasn't for me. It was for somebody else. You know, I was just middlemaning it. Like, oh, yeah, I know somebody, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd go do that. And then my cousin was like, yo, you know, if you buy this half ounce, you could sell 4 eighths and you can make, you know, you could get your own sack. And I'm like, I don't even really smoke like that, but I could sell that eighth and make this much. And you know what I mean? I started putting the numbers together. I'm like, oh yeah, let me get that, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, started with that. And then, you know, I ended up working, stacking up money. And by the time my daughter was about to be born, I had a 2-bedroom apartment, and I was taking care of business. I had a car. I was like, you know, it was crazy. Yeah. It might have been like 6 months, you know, and I'm not saying like that was the right thing to do at the time, but that's what I knew, and that's what worked for me. So that's what I did. And, you know, that's why I say that's where my entrepreneurship started. Like, you know, just breaking it down, looking at the numbers, you know, understand your clientele. And then also I was a real personable person. So like, as soon as I started selling weed to one person, another person, oh, you got some weed? I'm like, man, I got pre-rolls, I got this, I got that. You know, that's back when we had dirt weed. You know what I mean? It was it was garbage, you know, but I was able to sell the hell out of it and make good money and provide for my kid and not, you know, not be homeless.
Right.
So, you know,
because that's all you're thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's networking, it's you know, supply demand, it's you know, so starting out that I could really attribute selling weed to how I started entrepreneurship.
Absolutely, man.
And I'm not telling people to go do that.
No way,
man. There's way better, easier, less. You know, because that honestly ended up sending me to prison. So I'm not saying I'm an advocate for that, but I'm saying that's how I learned. But then I realized, you know, fast forward, there's so many different ways to legit hustle and make good money, if not more money, the legit way without all the stress and the risks of, you know, just selling drugs.
It's true, though. But I mean, like, as you said, it's just the environment that we grow up in, right? Because I did the same thing. I had my son when I was 15. I wasn't even able to work, man. I wasn't even able to work. So, you know, I did the same shit. I was selling bud too. Yeah, I was selling bud until I was able to get a job at 15. I think I was working under the table actually at a Thai spot, just washing dishes and shit. Worked at a pizza spot, was selling bud out of there. You know, even when you go work at a real job, it's not enough money to sustain taking care of people.
I remember working and having a message on my phone and being like, damn, how much do I make this day? And I'm like, $11 an hour times 8.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I got this knock on my phone for like $250. Like, I'm over here looking at my boss, like, who you talking to like that, bro? Like come on, homie, I'm gonna take a long lunch.
But it's true though.
It's true.
There are so many avenues, especially like it sucks to say, but when you grow up in a different, part of life and like you have different walks of life, you're just like, man, there's so many easier ways to do things, but it's also like not the legit way to do it.
Right.
And then that's what sometimes that clouds your judgment as you're getting older. You're like, man, I can do this for the rest of my life. And then boom, like you said, you go to prison. You're like, no, this isn't the right way. I can figure it out. We've been through that our whole lives.
Absolutely.
Like, I can relate just like that.
Right.
Early days when you're like, I remember being at 16 years old, applying for 100 jobs and not being able to find a job at all.
Yeah.
Every fast food joint, everything.
Bro.
No, not even an interview. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. How like 16-year-olds finding a job?
Yeah.
And then even to this day, like I'm 31 now and I applied for 100 jobs over the last 2 weeks. And then nothing. Not even no one batted an eye.
True.
And
It's
right now the job
worse.
market is even worse than when I was 16,
now. Right.
But I'm grateful that I was able to find myself in a position where like, okay, I can finally put myself in a position to work. And then
Right.
But just knowing the fact that if I was struggling, there's so many people out there struggling with how they're handling life right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's amazing that that you say that because that's as real as it gets. That's where you started. You were 16, homeless, with a baby on the way. You had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you're like you said, that's not how it should be, but that's how it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, being 16, 17, 18, like, man, even then, like, we don't really even know about life. And then even then, like,
I still don't know about life.
I mean, I don't know how it was for you, but I mean, even my OGs and stuff, they didn't really teach me about how to make money and how to save. And I mean, come on, we're 15, we're 15, 16.
Oh man,
so
they taught me
like,
how to, go hustle.
Yeah,
go
go
rob
get
somebody,
it.
go get some bread.
Yeah.
And then go to the strip club, make it rain, and then go do this and that.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
don't teach you how to budget. They don't teach you how to
None
put
of
your
that.
money away.
None of
how
that.
to pay taxes and all that.
No.
Like they ain't doing that.
Not at all.
They're not trying to pivot. They're just in there. They're comfortable.
Right.
And it's almost like monopoly money because it's like, bro, like none of that money seasons. You can't get no house. You can't get no business. Like you can't do anything because even if you do, that might tie back to you starting up faulty. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
It's you're not even building on a solid foundation, bro. You're setting yourself up to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
So you did it early on. Then you went to prison. Then was it after prison you had to pivot and like figure things out from there, or when was the moment you're like?
So I was hustling in prison too. I was able to because I only did a year, thankfully. I was grateful for that. My matrix, I didn't really get in a lot of trouble. It was 11 months. I ended up getting 13 months. Got out on parole. But while I was in prison too, man, like I didn't have a lot of money on my books. My family ain't over here like, oh, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna no, hell no. Like
no.
I got money every once. So I was actually indigent, which is you don't have no money on your books for 45 days straight. So then they give you like the state issued soap, the state issued toothpaste, Okay. I was indigent a lot of the times and I had to figure out, okay, how am I gonna, stretch this money that, my homie just put on my books or my mom put on my books. It's only gonna be once every so often. So I started making a store in there. And at where I was at the time in Lone Peak, you can get cigarettes off commissary. So I started 2 for $1 in cigarettes right before commissary night. So a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, 2 for $1. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll get my pack tomorrow. We're good.
Right.
And we turned a half a pack into like 20 packs. And I was able to, charge tax on them to where I was eating in there. And I was indigent, but bro, I gained 30 pounds in prison. You know what I mean? I was like, oh yeah, I ain't no boy no more. What's up?
That's crazy, bro.
So yeah, hustling in there, but that was kind of in prison at the same time was kind of my turning point where I started really shifting my mindset because like a lot of the time at the beginning, you're locked down 23 hours, because you're in R&O, so you're locked down 23 hours. You don't get no phone calls. You don't get no visits, no nothing. And then they shipped me out to Gunnison right after. And, my mom's not going to drive out there. And,
no way.
I didn't get no visits out there. And it, it sucked. And there was a moment where, like, months, you know, I felt like I didn't see my kids for months. And then all of a sudden, boom, I get a letter in the, you know, mail from my baby mom. And I have 2 kids at the time. When I got locked up, they were 2 and 3. And man, it was like 3 months that I didn't see them. And I seen the pictures and it just broke me. I'm just like, damn, man, my kids literally grew. Cause you know, at that age, they just grow so rapidly.
Yeah.
So seeing my kids at that moment was like, yo, I done fucked up. Like, you know, I'm not doing I wasn't doing the right thing for them. And what kind of a dad can I be in here? Like, there's nothing I can do to be a dad. I can't provide. I can't, you know, tell them, I can't discipline them. I can't do nothing but watch them grow through pictures, you know? Yeah. So at the time, you know, going through that, I also started just kind of growing myself. And they put me in the wackest it was called the Hope program in prison. And it's basically a drug program. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm not a drug addict. Like, I went to prison because I was selling drugs. Like, I got I got distribution charges, like, not user charges. But they put me in
Is
it
there
anyways.
a difference, though? There's no difference, is there?
There is.
I don't know. I don't know. I like to say, like, I ain't fell off. I ain't been on the streets. I ain't been shooting up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like to party. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, there's I got caught selling ecstasy, so there's a time where I was popping a lot. You know,
of course.
So maybe you could have called me a drug addict. I don't know. I was in denial at the time. Either way. So, you know, I'm in there, and as my kids are growing through pictures, Hope program, it was like every morning, it was whack, but it was like every morning you had to say their core values, which is like honesty or integrity, accountability, like all that crazy shit. Right. And then they start breaking it down because they do classes. And there was a class that really changed my life, if anything. And they were talking about accountability. And one of the people was like really questioning me and testing me. And I'm over here bucking on them like, they're like, it's your fault you're in prison. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I got snitched on. No, it's not. This happened. That happened. You know, I had a hella excuses, but started running out. And she's like, you know, like, and I'm like, and I'm not a drug addict. And they're like, yeah, but you're addicted to the lifestyle. And she just broke it down to to where I was just like, you might be right, you know? And it got to a point where I'm like, they're like, yeah, you're not taking accountability. And I'm like, accountability. And it just started like shifting on my holy shit. Like, I put myself here. Like, I'm the reason why I'm here. I took myself away from my kids, and I'm the one that, you know, that did that. So that was a huge moment in prison for me too, because watching my kids grow, getting challenged, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? This is me, you know? And
that's crazy.
That's a tough that kind of helped.
Yeah,
shift.
It's a tough pill to swallow. Yeah. Come on, man. It's those are big realizations to have for anybody, even out here.
Oh, you know,
it's like it's super. Those are big things to.
I mean, sometimes I gotta check myself too. Like, oh, hold up, that was me. So
so you were in prison 19, 20?
What year were you in?
Like, I got out in 2011.
Oh shit!
It might have been 19 or 20.
You might know some people that.
I was gonna say my uncle's been in Gunnison forever.
My uncle did 20. Really? My uncle did 20 years there.
Yeah,
damn.
Both are uncles. So
both of them. Yeah, my uncle just got moved out. And to
they sent him to Cali.
It's just sent him to Cali now.
Yeah.
Oh, so he did get hit with a Fed case and had to finish his state time.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah, we were that drive to Gunnison as a kid is the worst. Like you got
to go long, man.
Dude, we went. Yeah, you know, as kids, like. I remember the last time I saw my uncle, right before, it was crazy. So like, I would tell the story. He was like, he dropped me off to go to school. We lived in Portland. And then he was just like, all right, I'm going to pick you up. And then never saw him again after that.
Yeah.
He went and did 20 years. But then it was like, we moved back to Utah in 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
And I remember we went there and then they had the vending machines where the visit room.
Yeah.
He's like, just give me beef jerky.
He said, hey,
we bought the whole entire roll of beef jerky so he can sit there. He was just eating beef jerky the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Every time we went to Gunnison, he's like, hey, make sure you bring quarters.
Yeah.
He's like, bring the bag of quarters.
We had like a sandwich bag of quarters every time we went.
Blessed him every time.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, Gunnison's far, man.
Yeah.
I remember driving out there and we had to stop at different ones. It felt like all day trip, bro. Locked up in shackles, just dropping people off. It was like the last stop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's deep out there.
Yeah.
There's nothing else out there.
Ain't no one leaving that place.
Ain't no one leaving, bro.
You get out, even if you got out, you're like, where the hell am I gonna go? Up the mountain, down the street? It's like I'm going back.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it was 2011. You graduated out. You got out, right?
Yeah.
And then when did you take the pivot into barbering? Then
Again, partially in prison because I had my barber actually, Jody Joe. He owns Clean Cut Barbershop. I would go every week and I'd be like, yo, man, like, hell yeah, fresh fade. You know, when I was younger, I wouldn't really get a lot of haircuts. And like when I did, it was like my mom or my grandma would take me to Great Clips. You know, it wasn't no fresh, you know.
Right.
So the moment I went to my homie, he gave me a straight razor, lineup, design. You know, I was like, oh, it's up. Like
he said, oh,
every week, bro, I was over there. So him being my homie, like I seen him every week. We built a relationship. We were kicking it. And then I get locked up. He kept it real. He wrote me, dropped me some money on my books. And, you know, he's a little bit older than me, so he would mentor me as well. So, you know, there's times where he's like, yo, bro, why don't you start cutting hair? You know, and, you know, one time he wrote me that on a letter and I was like, I laughed. I was like, hell no, bro. Like, I'm gangbanging, bro. Like, you can't cut no hair if you're gangbanging, you know, like, because if you're really keeping it real, like, you can't. So while I was in there, it was a seed that got planted and I got my hair cut in there and I thought it was cool because the homie did it with like a razor and then put it inside a comb and faded me up, lined me up. And I was like, yo, that's fire.
Yeah,
like,
that's
crazy.
I
didn't have a haircut for months before that.
Right.
So just kind of, you know, I was like, oh, cool. I like getting a haircut, you know. And then, you know, towards the end of my bid, I had one of my friends that wanted to be a barber. He had a huge plans to open a barbershop and, you know, do the most. And, you know, it kind of made me think about it too. I'm like, yeah, my homie's always been telling me I'd be a good barber. I don't know why, you know. But fast forward now, I'm like, oh, I know why. It was the personality.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was about to say.
But, you know, so I had a client, or not even a client, just one of the dudes that was in my section. He was like, yo, you want to cut me up? You want to give me a razor fade? And I'm like, bro, like, because I had one, right? So when you got a fade, sometimes people are, oh, you can hook me up with something like that. Like, I like that style.
Yeah.
So he asked me, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I didn't love it. I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But I was able to give him a little chopped up chili bowl cut, you know, high fade. And he came back.
Wow.
I'm like, bro, for real? Like, come on, dog. I'll throw you a couple noodles. I was like, bro, I don't need no noodles. Like, you really want me to do it again? And I was just kind of like annoyed, but I'd do it, you know. But at the time, I was over there chopping it up, talking, you know. So that was kind of a seed that was planted.
Yeah.
So then I get out, and I mean, right away, first thing you do is just automatically construction jobs,
right?
Warehouse jobs, you know, just that hard grunt work that, you know, that's who will hire you. And I did that for about maybe 2-3 years. And around the time that I got parole, I got laid off from a job that I was getting paid pretty good at the time. It was like $18 an hour. I was like, oh, I'm balling. Like, I was feeling it, you know, because I had to pay child support too. So, you know, I had to make, you know, even with that, it sucked, but I got used to making a little more money. So I got laid off for that job. And, you know, same homie, you know, Jody Joe was like, yo, so what's up, bro? What are you going to do? You know? And I'm like, damn, I don't know, bro. I was all stressed out calling him. And he's like, you should go to barber school. And I was just like, first I'm like, man, didn't I tell you I don't want to do that? But I was like, I thought about it and I'm like, I didn't really have an excuse. Like, why not to?
Yeah, right.
And I was like, I didn't have nothing to lose. I didn't have no skill set. I was just a laborer. So I was like, damn, that's not a bad idea. And then I like hit up the school and like, man, it was sorry. I was like down to my last $75 or something.
Yeah.
And that's how much it was to register on the website to register for school. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I just got to send it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did it, bro. And that was the best decision of my life.
Man, that shit changed your life.
Changed.
It was the best decision you can make.
My family's, yeah.
Yeah. Damn, man. That's inspiring, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Even on the, you know, your last 75, you could have did a lot with that. You know, you could have made the wrong choice.
I could have went and got a bottle and some beer and just sat there and just, you know, felt it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's good, man. You learn. I can tell you learned a lot while you were locked up. You were able to hold a job.
Yeah.
You know, you were able to come out and actually provide for yourself, at least your kids, and then, you know, but sometimes life be happening, you know, life happens like that where people get laid off and you got to figure out something new. And most of the time people would just go back and find something different. Right.
Yeah.
This was a complete
something else would be the easier route because
Absolutely.
Or go back to what they were doing because it's so
I was
easy.
Gonna say, or go back to selling
so
whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
So
you have to have a different type of mindset to go into something like, damn, this is my last $75. You're gambling on yourself to go do that. You know, it's like,
absolutely.
I don't even know if I'm going to like this or if this is going to work. You could have easily taken that $75, went back to what you were doing, doubled it, tripled it, whatever, but then just been on the same path. So, you know, thank God that you were able to, and you had the mindset to do that though.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it was even harder because my girl at the time, she been rocking with me since the downs, since the ups, like since everything. And she's always been like that voice of reason because I be on some wild shit, you know. I just do some random, like, you know, just spur of the moment type thing, make some crazy decisions. Like I'll buy a motorcycle out of nowhere. And she's like, what the hell? And I'm like, I don't know. But this time I kind of had I started going full force on barbering. And she actually stopped me and was like, no, I'm not making that much money at my job. We have 3 kids at the time, one on the way. And she was like, how are we going to pay bills? You know? And I'm kind of like, just trust, like, you know, we'll figure it out. Like I always figure it out. Trust me, I got this. And she was not on board, you know? And I just was like, fuck, I'm doing it regardless. Like, I don't care if you agree with me or you don't see it, but I just feel something like I'm gonna do it. So that was tough to kind of go against, take that risk and commit and have her tell me no, and then I was like, man, I'm doing it regardless.
How long was the process from registering to actually becoming a licensed barber?
So I swear I filled out the application and they're like, all right, October 5th the school starts, which was like the next week.
Okay.
And so I had to hurry and do all the FAFSA stuff and fill it all out. And then from there, it's a 6-month program, but it kind of fell in between time of the holidays. So it took me about 7 months. So yeah, about 7 months until I graduated.
Yeah. Oh, and they'll let you if I'm trying to remember what Barry did. You can pay later for the classes or something like that.
Yeah, so
right?
I use FAFSA. So it was a student loan.
Loan.
Yeah, they do student loan, so I was able to pay payments on them. And I think I'm behind on. Now I think about it, I stretched that out. I was like, $100 a month for the rest of my life. I don't care, But yeah, you could just it's FAFSA. It's pretty. I mean, obviously you have to qualify for it,
right?
But for the most part, it's pretty cool. You can start and then. Yeah, once you're done with your hours, you could take the practical test, which is like a mannequin. You cut the hair, you shave them, you do whatever, you do all the sanitization, and then there's a theory test, which is like all the bookwork and stuff like
written
that.
And all that stuff. Tough. Yeah. I
have a barber. I ain't gonna say his name, but that dude took 9 times.
Yeah, and don't you gotta pay?
It's $90.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta
almost
pay
spend
each
a
time.
band, bro. I was like,
damn. It's true.
So.
No, it's dope, and I think it's good for people to know and hear these and hear what you're saying now, because there are programs that can help if you want to get started in barbering, right?
Right.
That's one of the only industries that I feel actually has a program.
Yeah, there's Voc Rehab too as well that they'll pay for it. I've had friends that had Voc Rehab pay for that and their supplies, and then they get extra money to live with the FAFSA loans. So.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's a definitely a growing business now. Even now, they're starting to introduce it into regular schools.
Oh yeah,
you can start getting your hours in high school now, which is kind of crazy because growing up it's like go do computer tech or go do wood shop. That's those are the other ones you can do, but. Now they're starting to do more trade stuff that allow people to harness a skill
which
right
is
out
dope.
of high school and then go into it and okay, I only have 1,000 hours left or whatever, how many hours it takes, right? And then you're already a partial way there now.
Yeah, you're already learning. You started, right? And so right out the gate, you already kind of have the upper advantage.
Sometimes because I have my instructor's license, sometimes I get, these youngsters out of school that are I think my last apprentice is 16.
Wow.
And he started watching YouTube, practicing on his homies, just working. And because I have my instructor's license, I can hire him part-time as my apprentice.
That's dope.
He could pay me, and then he don't have to go through school. I went to barber school, bro, and they were $5 cuts. And you got it's just not the best demographic. You got dudes with just crusty heads and just people that you really ain't normally going to try to cut.
Right.
But that's just what you got to do. And then you have to pay to be there, and you don't get paid for cutting. Sometimes you get a tip, $1, $2, whatever.
Right.
But for the most part, that's just what it was. So now is dope because these youngsters, they could find somebody with an instructor's license. And I have a couple instructors at my shop because, you know, I try to push them. Like, yo, don't just be a barber. Like, if you're eligible for your instructor's license, why not get a apprentice over here, lace them up, you make some money, the shop will make some money, and then you're giving a youngster an opportunity where he can go and bypass barber school and save 6 months of his life and really get into a shop where you want to be around the people you want to be.
Right. The clientele.
And then you're going to get way better, way faster. And you're going to really, like, I've had apprentices, man, that, you know, damn near outshine me. Like, you know, first year out of being their apprentice, I'm just like, damn, bro, you're better than I was a year out of school. You're faster. You make more money. You know what I mean? Like, you got shop experience. Like, it took me a long time because 6 months, 7 months from school, plus I had to go to a barbershop. Then I sucked for like a cool year. Right. Took forever, fucking everybody up. And then finally, after a year, I started being able to, you know, build my clientele. Right. But even then, like, it didn't take till like year 3 where I was like, all right, I'm certified. Like, I'm pretty confident, you know, and obviously I could always do better, but you know, that's where I was like able to really sell myself as a good barber.
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that you can do that. So because you have an instructor license, they can go put in the hours with you.
Yep.
They'll still have to take the tests.
Yep. They still have to take the 2 tests. It's 250 more hours on top of the 1,000 hours. So it's 1,250 instead of 1,000.
Right.
But
you're learning from someone with
you're like that skill set. You're in the cut. Yeah. You're learning.
I'll spend 1,500 hours in the shop versus 1,000 in the school.
In school, where you're cutting $5 haircuts and not cutting the people that where you're going to be making money. That is amazing, though.
Yeah.
That there is like little things like that. Yes, you're spending a little more time, but trust me, if you're out there and you're trying to learn something, you want to be around the right people to learn what you need. Because ain't no skill just going to be taught by anyone, and you have to surround yourself. Right, you have to surround yourself with those people. Like, man, if I had something like that when I was like 16 years old, I can go out of school and like go cut some hair. Because I was like cutting my homies' hairs, but like that wasn't something I thought about. Right. But if I had people like you, Albert, that's like, hey, bro, like I see something in you. Like, come do your hours with me, and it's more fun. You get more the connection, the human interaction that you get to have with someone like that. It's like, damn, this makes me want to go out and do this.
You probably learn a lot more there.
Service,
yeah, you learn all of
the
it.
phone, understand the logistics of a barbershop.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're getting so much more value because that's all the stuff I learned as soon as I got out of school, you know. And then what I learned from my homie was way more advanced than what I learned from school. So, you know, like my 6 months with him, being next to him, cutting next to him, learning how to be fast, learning how to be clean, learning how to do designs was like 10x compared to my school.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Because they're just teaching you the basics.
Yeah.
It's just the basics.
I mean, you got to think like the barber school, they typically like don't hire pretty high. Like you're teaching people to make so much more money than you're making. Right. You're telling them like, yo, you can make, you know, like when I was in school, they pitched me $20 a haircut, 20 minutes. Right. And this was 10 years ago. So that was realistic. But then, you know, you're like, damn, that's like $60 an hour. That's let's run it up, you know. But then you look at the instructors, and realistically back then, I bet they're only making like $8 to $10.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's hard to find good help, good instructors. Like when I was instructing there, bro, like it was dope because people were like, yo, what's up, bro? Like it was only 1 day a week, part time, but it's hard to find good instructors that
I mean,
really
correct
care,
me if I'm wrong.
Like,
they're not as passionate. They're there to teach. Right.
Yeah, they get insurance. They kind of get what most barbers don't get.
Right.
So for me, I just did it just because I like teaching. And then at the same time, I'm like, okay, cool. If I'm over here teaching, I'm building a network, and then I could possibly hire some future barbers. I could scout talent. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to me, my vision was a lot bigger. You know, I was just kind of like, I just made, you know, $300 off 2 cuts. And I come into work and I'm making like $60 to be here for like 7 hours or something crazy. You know, it wasn't even realistic, but the value and the impact that I made and like the reputation and you know, just getting myself out there was actually paid way more than that, you know, on the back end.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's crazy. That's dope. I'm glad that I'm happy to hear that you do stuff like that because I think it's important. You know, you're paying it forward. Yeah. Right. You're paying it forward to some of these young guys coming in and you know, who have hopes to do what you're doing. Yeah. You inspire people, right? Yeah. So like it's good that you're giving them an opportunity to come in and, like you said, see how the business runs, see how you run things, see how they want to run things, and you know, maybe give them ideas on how they want to run maybe their own shop one day, things like that. That's dope, bro. Kudos to you, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's probably one of the most rewarding things that doesn't have like a monetary value. You know what I mean? Like you can't put a price on that. But,
no way.
You know, when people come to you and they're just like, "Yo, bro, thanks, man." Like you know, if they're quitting, you know, going to another one, opening their own shit, and they come to me and they're like, "Yo, bro, I appreciate you. You know, you helped me fresh out of school,
right?
Even in school, you know, you helped me in school,
like you
put
school, me on, bro.
And then you like, I'm about to open my business. Like, thank you. You know, and like, I'm really not making a lot of money off that, but I appreciate the time that they put at the shop, the loyalty,
right?
And then I'm like grateful that I can help be a part of someone's journey because it's a beautiful thing to, you know, be an entrepreneur and do your own thing. Yeah, it's tough though. It's a struggle.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. But to help somebody and guide them and still be a mentor to them. Yeah. Even to this day is a blessing, man.
It's bigger than
I could be that person.
It's bigger than you. It's bigger than the shop. It's like it's bigger than anything, right? Like you can't even. Man, that's crazy. So that's beautiful.
That's like what I love to do out of it. Yeah. Obviously, besides making money, but
of course,
that's the shit that you can't really put a price tag on.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. That's dope. Yeah. How many? I'm just curious. How many hours do you got to put in to even get an instructor license? Like, what do you even have to? Like, what's that? You got to put in the 12 to get the barber license.
Year, 2 years. They just break. It's a little bit weird now because it's so many hours, and there's really no way to track how many exact hours unless you really keep track of it. That you're in there. But typically, your first year of tax return, if you're at a decent shop and you make good money, you could do it just by that because they divide it by minimum wage.
Oh, okay.
And really, it's just a test. Like you have to pass the instructor's test, which it's not about barbering whatsoever. It's about teaching, guiding, managing. You know, different teaching styles. It's a way different test. And right now, like the licenses are pretty lax where that's all you have to do. But I think in the future they said they're trying to up the expectations. For the instructor's license. Or another option is you could spend an extra, I think, 500 hours in school still, like when you graduate as a student instructor. And then obviously you still have to take the test, but you could also do that.
That's crazy, man.
So it's honestly not hard to be an instructor. Like I tell people if they've been cutting hair 2-3 years and they're not an instructor, they're just lazy. Yeah. Or maybe they don't like to take the test. I don't know. But it's you know, I try to guide my barbers into being instructors just because number one, they make money off having a student. And then number two, you're giving other people, and you know, it's going to develop you as a leader. And then it's going to help them. You know, it's a good feeling.
You're gaming them up.
Yeah. So win-win all the way around.
That's dope, man. Yeah. So, you know, we talked about you going out of school. How long were you in someone else's barbershop before you were like, you know, fuck this shit. Let me go do my own thing?
It took me 2 years.
Wow. That was fast.
That's nothing. That's
crazy. I think for me, man, I have 4 kids at the time. That's true. So that's me, I'm like, man, all these other youngsters are wasting time, like not want to take haircuts. They're just, you know, learning at their own pace. And I'm like, like I told my girl that trust me on this, you know? So right. I had to start producing a lot faster. So I went to a lot of classes after school, as far as like continued education. And I wouldn't see a lot of people, you know, a lot of my, you know, the students that I was in there with.
Yeah, your peers,
my peers, it was just me a lot of the times, and I would go out my way to go to all these different classes and educate myself and watch YouTube and be very critical on myself and grow my social media. Good, like, you know, I turned into like I had to damn near like forget about myself and just be like, I'm a barber. Right. Like my social media was flooded with barber things. And I'm just like, man, there's a lot of people that didn't come to me, that people didn't care about it. Right. And I'm just like, man, they're probably annoyed with me. Like all I'm doing is posting barber stuff. And, you know, I just dove in and just became a barber. Yeah. You know,
you like had an obsession.
Yeah. I had to look back at like what's important in like the streets and gangbanging and selling drugs. I was like, nah, I can't. Yeah. I can't even entertain or going that route because absolutely. I'm real quick to boom, I'm going all in, you know? So I had to really evaluate and be like, okay, I just invested this much money into school, this much time. I need to give it my all. Because everything I've been doing hasn't really paid off, you know, like it's just been whatever. So
no, that's cool, man. I know
2 years.
I know some fools who will go through that whole thing and still stop barbering. Oh yeah. Like they went through the whole shit and then stopped anyway.
One of my best friends, bro, we went to school at the same time, bro. Like he graduated and he was like, I'm good. Yeah. I'm like, bro, like you're nice. You're not bad. Like, I mean, obviously, You know, he wasn't, but yeah, he was just like, "Nah, I'm good." I'm like,
for sure. You know, like, but
I've quit things like I try to do SMP.
It happens.
I try to do SMP, you know, and that's like the little micro needle. And I spent hella money, invested time, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna own a barbershop and I'm gonna do this. And I was like, fuck that.
It happens.
It's not me. I don't want to do it. So.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's dope, man. So 2 years goes by. Yeah. You're in the shop, and you're like, okay, let me start looking for locations. Or what did you start? You know, how did that? Where did the idea come from? Where did it start? And you know, where did it take you to that first barbershop?
So I was working at, you know, my friend's shop, the one that I went to straight out of school. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was also coaching boxing for my son. Okay. And he was like 8, 9 years old, maybe 10. And he started getting real good. And I started coaching at a nonprofit gym. And I figured out, like, I like this, you know, like my son, I put so much time, energy, learned to teach him because he got his ass beat his first 2 fights. Yeah. So I was like, dude, fuck that. Like, I'm not going to watch my son get his ass beat.
Yeah.
Yo, let's go grind. So we started, you know, working hard. And basically from the moment that he lost his second fight, we just grinded for like 3 months. And then he started fighting again. And then won 11 straight and took second in the junior Golden Gloves.
Going tournament. Crazy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But in that time, people were watching like what me and him were doing and the coach, and they were just like, yo, what's up? Like, you know, these, and we're in downtown Salt Lake. It was State Street Boxing Gym, and, you know, it was inner city youth, bro, troubled youth. Yeah. You know, a lot of these kids, they didn't even pay for the gym. They were just, the owner was like, nah, man, you guys are good. Like, Mario's a real good dude. He's the owner of the gym. He's like, nah, man, just go ahead, come through. Like, stay out of the streets, stay in the gym. Yeah. You know, and
good, man.
The moment they see me and my son winning, and our other coach, Alex, that helped teach me as well, they was like, yo, what's up? Can you train me? You know, and I remember one kid was, bro, every time I watched him fight, he'd lose. Yeah. And I'm like, I was like, look, Eric, if I train you, like, I'm not playing. My son don't play. Like, I like to win. Right. I was like, so if I'm going to coach you and be on your corner, like, bro, we need to turn that losing record into a winning record. Yeah. And I was like, so as soon as we get into the gym, bro, this is your expectations. You got to run a mile. You got to do this. You got to, you know, I gave him a little exactly what my son was doing. Right. And then we trained together, and then just more kids started hopping on, bro. And next thing you know, we built a nice little team, and we was winning. Wow. You know, at a gym that was pretty much losing all the time. You know, people are like, oh, we're gonna go fight them, or they're gonna lose. So I really wanted to coach. Yeah. Because I was spending money out of my own pocket to go travel and go to different cities for different tournaments, like, you know, like Mesquite, Arizona. Like, there's so many different, like Idaho. And I got an opportunity to go coach at a different gym that was a nonprofit as well, but it was for the city. And I was like, hell yeah, I was so excited. I was like, man, I'm going to be able to travel. You know, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to be able to help kids. I'm going to be able to do what I do and still barber. But then, like, barbering was, like, secondary at the time. Right. Like, I had my clientele and I did good, but then I had time to really do the boxing grind after. So I was like, I really like doing the boxing. Like, I love winning. I love competing. I love help, you know, these youngsters that remind me of myself, bro. Yeah, spending time with my son. Yeah. And these youngsters, man, some of them were knuckleheads, but I know how to talk to them. I know how to, you know, get them to listen to me. Dope, man. And really guide them and watch them flourish. You know what I mean? Like the kid that I was telling you that had a losing, you know, record, bro. Like he fought with me and not once did he lose, bro. Wow. He won 8 straight to get a winning record. And the last one, he was so scared to fight this dude. He's like, yo, man, that guy looks strong. I was like, nah, bro. My son just got a knockout because he was 9 years old. My son just, boom, got a knockout, which is crazy when they're that little. I mean, he dropped him. He didn't knock him out. It was a TKO, but same shit. I was like, it's your turn, Eric. Like, I want you to get in there. And he's like, oh, I can't do that. You know, he was just hella, just you know, just scared, nervous. Yeah. Because the dude beat him before. Right. Bro, he goes in there. Boom, dropped the kid, got fight of the night, won, was so happy, bro. Like, to me, bro, like doing that was lit, bro. Yeah. So, you know, so I went in the gym and did that. So, like I said, back to, my bad, I'm all over the place.
No, it's all good.
Back to trying to get a job at a nonprofit gym that was for the city. I was so excited for that. So, I was like, man, that's dope to be able to travel. You know, I don't make money because I cut hair, but, you know, because I cut hair. So if you're not cutting, you're not making money.
Right.
But I can make money off being a coach. So at least I'm not going all negative. Right. You know what I mean? So I'm like, cool. That sounds perfect. Well, I go and I apply and it's through the city, and they're like, right away, they just rejected me. They're like, oh, no, sorry, you got felonies. Oh. And I'm like, man, that was like 8 years ago, you know? Right. And they're like, well, sorry. And I'm like, crazy. You know, I try to plead my case. I'm like, look, yes, I did get in trouble. I'm out of trouble. I cut hair. I'm not doing nothing bad. Like, I'm literally trying to teach these kids how to stay out of the streets. They look up to me. They listen to me because I look and relate to them. And, like, they was like, nah. So, to me, bro, that shit, like, crushed me. I was like, man, you know, back to the accountability. Like, that's on me. Right. Like, I'm the one that did that to myself. You know, I was the one that, you know, turned 18, 19 and started getting felonies right away. So, that was on me. But it's still not saying right. So, you know, I had a motorcycle at the time, bro, and I went and tore it up, bro. That was my therapy, bro. I went up the canyons and I just was pissed, emotional, and just went through the canyons. And while I was doing that, bro, I just started thinking of like, damn, what can I do? So then I got a thought of like, okay, what if I open my own barbershop? I have people to work for me. I can make money while I travel with my son boxing, and I'm good. And I'll make more money. Yeah. So right then I was like, hell yeah, like, by the time I came home, man, I felt so good. I was relieved. Like, you know, I was damn near shaking because, you know, the adrenaline rush. Yeah. And that's when I was like, I'm going to open my own shop.
Wow. Hey, man, sometimes it takes that. Right? Yeah. Sometimes it takes that just to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing about like denial. Like you were looking into doing something that you really wanted to. You wanted to be with your son. You want to train these kids. And then the city just goes and says no. Yeah. And then you're like, man, what am I going to do then? And then for you to be able to like, once again, you're pretty fast of like your turnarounds. Like, what am I really going to do? Yeah. Right. And for you to go find and be part of something that's really peaceful to you, like riding your bike. Yeah. And then just in that one ride.
Just to cool out.
Cool out. But that in that moment you're cooling out, you're sitting there like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I can still do what I love with my son, but also do something else that I love and give people the opportunity to do that too.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It was
that's crazy.
It was a crazy ride, man. It definitely wasn't like a peaceful stroll, man. Like, it was a bullet bike, bro. I was tearing. I almost killed myself a couple times, but like, I don't know, man. That shit wakes me up, you know. Yeah. And I'm grateful that I was able to sort through it. You know, obviously, I don't want to keep doing shit like that. Right. I'm going through it. Yeah, man. I'm grateful for it because it, you know, I had good intentions the whole time. So,
absolutely.
You know, God bless me. You know,
so you get into this new spot. Or, you know, you have this idea, you open up the barbershop, and you start right away. You start finding people are coming in. They want to see, you know, they want to start renting from you.
So the good thing is, you know, the barber that I learned from, Jody Joe, he taught me once I cut somebody, I want to make sure they always come back to me. Right. You know, he like instilled that into my brain and I took it and ran with it, you know. So by the time I had to open my own shop, I had so many clientels. I was booked out like 2 weeks. So really it was a transition to get to the new shop. Yeah. In the meantime, one of the dudes I used to go to school with, he was like, yo, what's up, man? I saw you opened up. You hiring? And I'm just like, yeah. Like, yeah, man, let's figure it out, you know? Yeah. And I was able to, you know, give him a deal, get him to hop on board, and he was similar to me. Like, I was like the hard part with him is I had to make him raise his price. Right. And that as a barber, that's a hard thing to do is really value yourself and understand, you know, okay, I'm booked this long, I'm going to, you know, charge more. But sometimes you think like, damn, I'm going to lose too much clients. It's not worth it. I'm doing good. I'm making money. Right. That was the hard part to convince him. He was older than me. He was better than me. And he'd been doing it longer. Right. So I was like, okay, how am I going to mentor and guide this dude? Being that I'm younger, I'm new. I really don't, in his eyes, I don't know shit about business. I'm just starting out. Right. But I was able to get him on board and start, and he was just like me with clientele. So right away, it was me and him booked all week. It just was popping. Yeah. So I had 2 chairs at the time. Because that's all I can afford. But all the money that I made every week, I would just keep investing into the shop. So then I got another chair, another station. Wow. Brought somebody in for walk-ins because I couldn't take walk-ins. He couldn't take walk-ins. Right. And basically, it just kept growing. Because my first spot was like a, 900 square foot like hallway. Because it was 2 shops split in between. And I went from one chair, obviously myself, and then a couple weeks later, 2 chairs, and then 3 chairs.
Wow.
And then it got to a point where I had somebody else want to work for me. So there was another wall. So I was like, yeah, I'm knocking that down. As soon as we close Saturday, I'm knocking that down, finishing the flooring because I made a little more money and I just kept throwing it back in.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, like 3 months later, boom, we knocked the wall down and then it made space for like 6 chairs.
Wow.
So I'd slowly add them.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, I was teaching barbers to get booked or I'd have them come join and, you know, they get busy and then more people. Next thing you know, I got 6 people there and we couldn't even walk to the bathroom.
Wow.
With our front, and this was before a year, my whole front lobby, bro, like would be full, people in the chairs, and it was popping.
That's great, bro. And what location was this?
Murray.
So
basically, a little bit before a year, somewhere around that time, I had to pivot and open 2 doors down that was twice as big.
Yeah.
So then I opened an 8-chair shop.
Wow, man.
All within a year?
Maybe a little further than a year, but just around. It was the first year,
man.
first year and a
That's
half.
crazy.
But even in a year, the first year, a couple years though, that's amazing. That's
a great thing.
The growth, and it all kind of like falls into place for you. Like you're like, man, this shit's getting big.
Yeah,
I need to knock down this wall. Let's go ahead and get some more chairs in here. And then now it became too packed, and you had to find a new space. And now you have 3.
Yeah,
you know what's crazy? Barbering is like one of the only businesses that I know where you actually start seeing money coming in. 'Cause you know, when you start a lot of businesses, like you don't start making money for like 1, 2, you're losing money. Right. Like a lot of like, you know, the first couple years, a lot of businesses lose money, right? That's what I learned. Doing anything, a lot of like most industries, whether it's food or smoke shop or anything, like you're damn near almost losing money like the first couple years.
One of my neighbors was in the red for 11 months.
Yeah, you know, so like that's
free for 11 months.
Yeah, so you know, I think it's like barbering is like one of those things where like you actually start seeing a little bit of money.
Yeah, I did it. Right? I did it pretty frugal to where I didn't get like I got a loan, but it was like $3,000. But I just kind of built as I went. Like how I was saying, I added extra chairs. That's kind of what I did. You know, and that's what I've been doing. Just
kept doing it. Pay it off. Do another one. Pay it off.
Yeah, you know, I remember at one point when I had the 8-chair shop, I was like, damn, I need new chairs, but chairs are expensive, you know, and I ended up getting chairs worth $1,000 each. But then I financed 4 at a time.
Yeah.
You know, once I paid that off, boom, got the other 4. Boom. I'm like, all right, cool. I got 8 chairs.
Man.
You know, and then I paid it off and I was like, damn, I got an extra, you know, because it was like $500 a month. I was like, I got an extra $500 a month in my pocket.
Yeah.
So
man, that's man, I'm loving everything I'm hearing about your story right now, bro. This is like a story of like determination and just learning and sticking to it. And everything you've been saying up until like, bro, you've been doing it in all different ways. You've been transitioning and making all of it. It sounds like the right moves, the right decisions.
For me, what I'm taking from this is that you really took the accountability part to the next level.
Yeah.
You knew that you couldn't just keep making money and doing what you were doing. You had to really figure it out, holding yourself accountable. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go run a business.
Right.
You know what? This is how I'm going to run my business. Oh, damn. Now I need more stuff in my business.
But you're still being wise with it. That's what I mean. It's like, you know, that frugal thing you're talking about. It's okay to be frugal again. Like you don't want to stretch yourself out too thin.
Yeah.
Doing these, because sometimes people be throwing in, they're going all in
crazy.
And you know, sometimes it don't work out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when it gets bad, right? That's when it's like, oh fuck, like how do I pay for that? I don't have nobody sitting in these chairs. No one's renting. It can get bad. It can get ugly, right? So it's like I love everything that I'm hearing here because you're making the only way I could put it, you're making very smart and calculated decisions every step of the way. From the moment you started talking, like from the beginning, this last hour, from the beginning of this hour all the way up until this point, everything's been calculated. Yeah. And it sounds like you know, every move that you've been making is not only been progressing you, but also you're seeing a return some way, somehow. It's not money. It doesn't have to be money sometimes, but you're seeing some positive things going on, which is really, really good. Yeah, not a lot of people can say that about their journeys. You know, a lot of people come in here and they talk about the struggles of this, which for you, you're not even making it sound like a struggle. You're more making it seem like, okay, this is a point that I'm at right now. And I need to get out of here.
Checkpoints. He's like,
these are
he got there.
These are checkpoints.
He's like, all right, now where do I go now?
Yeah.
Right. How am I going to figure this out? Yeah.
You know, and I love that. I can see from your OG that you keep talking about, I can see what he was talking about. Like you are a personal person, you know how to talk, and you even, and I don't even know if he was just saying that. I think he's talking about the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he knew where you were at before you even knew where you were at, right? Which is crazy, man.
I'm grateful for him, man.
Absolutely,
like that,
Yeah, you needed that. You needed to hear some of these things, and this is for everyone that's watching it and listening. This is where not being so hard-headed and closed-minded, this is where some of those things can, being open-minded and actually taking certain things into consideration that you normally maybe wouldn't have ever taken into consideration. This is where it could take you, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
I think one of the biggest things is like the way you look at things, like your perspective. And, nowadays, like sometimes shit happens, and I mean, it's not all Hollywood and it's not all glitz and glamour. Like I still go through hard things.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them, sometimes I put myself through hard things, but when life happens, I try to switch my mindset from like, why is this happening to me to why is this happening for me?
Right.
So that way, when an obstacle does come, it's like, all right, cool. What I got to learn from this?
Yeah.
No matter how hard it is in the moment, I just do what I feel is right. And it's been working.
Good, bro. Good.
Growing up,
it sounds like it is.
Yeah, growing up, I feel like, with the people and family, and, I'm not saying nothing bad about them, but I think we just kind of get stuck in the, like, poor me, like this is messed up, like this happened, that happened, and there's no accountability. You know, sometimes bad shit happens, like,
For sure.
Shit, if I got cancer or something crazy, I'd be like, hell yeah, poor me,
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of times where I feel like a lot of our, trials and tribulations are actually in our control.
Absolutely.
In how we deal with them and look at them.
100%.
Obviously, we can't change situations that are there that we can't, change. But it's like, okay, well, what's the pivot?
Absolutely. You can't control a lot of situations that happen in life, but you can control how you see it and how you deal with it and what you do from this point, right? And I feel like for you, bro, you've been doing it very well. Not a lot of people make these decisions and it goes this well, right? And like,
I'm a gambler.
Hey, it happens, but man, it's crazy to hear, and I'm proud of you, man. Like we've been saying, I'm like, damn, bro, I'm proud of you, bro. Thank like you, this bro. Is crazy, and it's nice to hear, because you're right. You're almost breaking. We're breaking cycles,
right,
you guys.
Yeah.
What we're doing 100%. Here is we're breaking cycles. We're breaking. We're probably going to be first generation wealthier than a lot of most of our our past families.
A lot of it is breaking the curse of generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us don't have the opportunities because we grew up in those opportunities that are taken away from us. We believe that it's taken away from us. We don't ever believe like we can do this. Yeah. That's a problem with our youth when we were growing up. It's like no one ain't gonna tell you how to do this.
Yeah.
There's so many books out there that are telling you how to do this, but nobody around us are reading those books.
Yeah.
Right. And you're breaking down those barriers now. And now you're rerouting this curse. It's like this is no longer gonna be here. Because it only takes one person to do it.
Only one.
It only takes one person to break that only curse in every family. Yeah. You need that one is like, you know what? I'm going to follow what that uncle's footsteps is. Like, it's just how did you do that? Right. And they're going to go back and listen to this and be like, damn, that's how you did it.
It's just showing the way it's creating these certain paths. Right. Cause like, come on, like I don't know about your parents or your grandparents, but all of our moms and our dads, our grandparents, they worked on lines. They came to America and just started working in the metal, on the line, just, build like throwing shit on a belt. And, they were able, that's all they knew. They didn't know how to do certain trades, or you can cut hair, you can do certain things you don't have to work in this big ass warehouse and these companies to actually make some bread. Right. And it's crazy because, a lot of people are like that. A lot of us grow up like that. We see it like, oh, we want you to be a doctor and this and that. It's like, fuck all that. There's other ways to make money. Like you said, there's plenty of different ways to make money. It doesn't require you to be a doctor. It doesn't require you to go graduate college and all these other things, which, if you can do it, if you have the means, go ahead.
Please do it. I'm not telling you, we're not telling you not to, but if
there's nothing wrong with that. Because even if you do become a doctor or a lawyer or, go to college for a career, like Who says you can't be an entrepreneur still?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, that's just your vehicle. That's what's going to get you money to be able to acquire assets and then pivot off to being, you know, wealthy in the long run type shit.
Right. So man, I love it. I love it, man. We love entrepreneurship here. You know, I never grew up. I don't know one uncle of mine who owned a business. They were all gangbangers and shit too. You know? We're probably like the first uncles and aunties of our, you know, for our own nephews that like own businesses and restaurants and things like that. You know, we're starting to see that now.
A lot of it just came later in life. You know, early on, we didn't really have family members that were doing their own stuff there. Like you said, a lot of them worked in the medical field where they were working on the lines. So not even the medical field. They're even the manufacturing field.
They're no nurses under that. They're manufacturing. You know, they're on the line doing something.
They did what they had to do.
Right.
We respect that they, you know, come to a different country first of all and not speak the language. And that's the one thing that you're able to do. And they worked their asses off to provide whatever they could. But our generation was somewhere lost in that.
Yeah.
You know, it was like you go from the hardworking generation to like, what are we doing
it's like in
with
between,
our life?
Like, what do we do? Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work at McDonald's. I don't want to go fucking work at a call center. And
then that's where we started developing, we can do this ourselves. We can figure out what we want to do with our lives, right? And that, I think having control is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I can wake up today and go to the office and work my 9 to 5. Or, damn, I can wake up at 5 a.m. today. What is everyone else trying to do today?
Right.
What are we learning today? Or how is everyone going to succeed today? Right. And that's where like our generation has come up to be like, damn, we can really do some shit. We can do some damage for real.
We can make it shake.
And I've been seeing a lot of youngsters, man, like even in barbering and like even my son, like they talk about like business, entrepreneurship.
I love it.
You know, like
I love it so much.
I'm not like, they're still the little cousins and little, you know, they be trying to sell carts and hustle.
Yeah.
That's frowned upon. You know, I don't encourage that.
Right.
And I encourage, you know, hustling. Tell me something. What you want to do on business?
Right.
Pick my brain. I got you. Like, I would love to help you. You know, there's nobody that I would love to more help than my family.
Absolutely.
You know, the youngsters and be someone to look up to. You know, I got little cousins that's like, oh, look, there's Albert. Oh, he's rich. And I'm like, hell no, I ain't rich. But, you know, it feels good because that gives them something to look after and really chase after and try to do something like that and be rich. Because, you know, that once they get here, they're going to be like, damn, there's levels.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely.
They're starting at that young age. I mean, I didn't start growing up, I feel like, until like 25.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got some of these little youngsters that are looking at, you know, us that are setting the right example. Absolutely. Way younger, man. That already got 10 years ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool as hell, man. That's what I'm all about.
I got my nephew right now, man. He just he's about to get a driver license right now, but man, he's been cutting people up just at the crib. He's learning.
It was crazy because
he's going crazy.
That passion came over like overnight. Yeah. Like it's one day he was like, I'm gonna be a skateboarder, and the next day he's like, he fell in love with cutting hair. Like he was on TikTok, he was on YouTube. Yeah, I was like, wait, what happened?
Oh, he's making money.
And then now he's just like, he sees where it can go. You know, and actually, thank you for telling us about that instructor thing, because now it's like, he don't have to go to school.
As you guys are telling me this, I'm like, you guys better put the pressure on Barry to get his instructor's license.
Yeah, we go to tell Barry too.
That gotta be his apprentice.
Yeah,
because he can get his hours done before he even graduates high school.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true, man.
Or depending on how old he is, but he could get it done in like 7-8 months.
Yeah,
at his age, bro.
Absolutely.
And literally graduate. Like I've had barbers that graduate high school early, and as soon as they're done, they're 17. They come and start working at the shop full time, and they're making a band a week.
Yeah,
you know,
they're going crazy
as an apprentice.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, it's gonna happen, man. I think you hit it right on the head. Like, man, I was having babies at 15, man. I was not thinking about no entrepreneurship. I was not thinking about business. I was not thinking about cutting nothing. I was just making some money off this little bit of weed I was selling, and I was cool with that. Yeah. That was it, right? But now, like you know, I'm looking at my little nephew, and I'm like, man, he's very determined. Like, he's determined to make this shit work. Like, he's ready to get bread off cutting hair.
Hey, if I could do it, imagine what he could do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, he's gonna go up.
At his age, if he stays focused, you know, like I said, I stayed super laser focused.
Yeah.
That's how I got to, you know, where I'm at. And it's been 10 years, but people could do it quicker.
Yeah. He'll get it done. By the time he's my age, bro, he'll be off.
By the time he hits like 20, if he keeps going the way,
go crazy.
Because you can now. The thing about life now, it's really accelerated.
Yeah.
You can wake up tomorrow and really just be like, I'm going to be a millionaire. And it can happen now.
All the resources are right there.
It's
right in front
there.
of you. We're
Right
in the day and age
fucking
of technology, right? It's like
Absolutely.
information is so
And they're
so
smarter.
wild.
They're younger. They're you know,
They're faster.
iPad babies, bro.
Yeah,
They grew up on
They got
iPads.
CapCut now, and now
yeah.
they can make their cuts look even more fire.
I'm like, homie, do my video for me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
Like, that's fire.
We all in the same. I'm over 30 now. I'm like, damn, I wish someone out here making my reels or something. Like my reels are basic, but
I'm over here trying to hire my kids. I'm like, yo, you guys, like, come on.
that's the direction a lot of people go into too. It's like their kids know so much. Like I'm pretty sure your kids, like they're about to graduate and everything.
Yeah.
Like they're on their phone and I'm pretty sure they have an understanding of like social media.
My 10-year-old he's like, I want to be a content creator, you know, and I'm like, whatever. Like, it's not obviously nobody. Oh yeah, but what if he does?
Yeah.
And then what skill set is he going to learn in the meantime? And then how is that going to help his career? Like, you know, for me, like if I was a young kid and I was messing around with all this social media and I was learning on that, by the time I became a barber, like, oh man, it's up. Like I'm already going to make fire TikToks because I'm already used to, I wanted to be, I wanted to be an influencer. I wanted to be this and that. So it's already going to, it complements what you can do because a lot of businesses are on social media in this day and age. So it's not a bad to be young and be like, oh, I want to be a career, you know, content creator, but the path that will take you.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't.
Yeah.
But, you know,
You never know until you get there though, right?
Even the decision at 10 years old to even make that decision to even, you know, that's,
I wasn't making that decision.
I was not doing that.
I was trying to steal someone's bike.
Yeah. I was stealing people's bikes at 10 years old.
I was fighting people, you know,
we were not doing that.
I was trying to find a girlfriend.
No, it's true, man. I'm happy to hear that. And it sounds like you laid out a path, man. It sounds like you laid out a very good path for your kids, your nephews, and anyone else who wants to come in and join to follow. And you don't sound like you're gatekeeping whatsoever. It sounds like you want to do as much as you can to teach everybody, and so it's like we love it, man. And what more can you ask for from an uncle or someone to look up to? I mean, I can see why kids look at your nephews and stuff, look at you like, yeah, man. He's rich. What they really mean is you're successful.
Yeah.
That's what
they don't know how to, let them know how it is. It's like everyone looks at you and like, damn, you're rich. But it's like, no, I'm not rich. I just have stuff. And then that's what they want though. That's what they want to obtain, right?
Yeah. But it's what what you had to do and the choices and the decisions, the right decisions that you had to do to make it to this point. It's not that you're rich. It's that you know better. You know what to do.
There's some type of success that shows, right? It's not whether or not it's financial, but if there's something that shows any type of success from where we come from, people want that.
Yeah.
Right. Like if I grew up and I was like, damn, my uncle was killing and making doing restaurants. I'm like, damn, I want to go do a restaurant too.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's inspiring.
Or like a clothing brand or something, right? We just never had that around us.
Right.
Right. And for you too, now it's like your nephew's like, damn, uncle's rich. He's like, yeah, go. Let's do this together. You want to be rich too?
I'll show you.
Like, come fuck with me.
And then they become a sponge. They're teachable. They're easy to show. Like like the basics. Like man, just obviously go to school.
Right.
But in the meantime, think about a side hustle. I could kind of mentor them and guide them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different, which is cool too. Like that's why I'm grateful where I'm at and what I've been through, and because I've even went and talked to like Decker Lake, like the youth center, and I went in there and I'm just like, yo, can I wear my gold? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Everybody else was dressed nice, which I'm not knocking them at all.
Right.
It's what they do. Like everybody has different businesses, but I'm more or less trying to be like, yo, as a barber, you can dress how you want. You can be yourself.
You can be you.
You could wear gold chains. And, like I've always grown up wanting to like sell drugs because like my dad went to prison for that. I did that. I was like, my big homies were making money, balling. I'm like, I want to be like that.
Exactly.
But obviously prison changed that route. And I'm like, how can I still be like that? So for me, like when I go talk to the youth center, it's like, yo, what's up? I'm telling these, I sit down and I just talk to them about myself, bro. Like I tell them what I've done, my mindset when I was a youngster, when I was getting in trouble, when I was selling weed, when I was drinking, doing dumb shit, and what led me into prison. And then the hole I had to climb out to get to where I'm at,
right?
Because that shit set me back. They're young, man. They still got hope.
Absolutely.
They're in the juvenile system. They're not in the adult system. The adult system's a lot harder. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm grateful for the being able to talk to them and relate to them, and you know, my little cousins and shit like that, because like I'm actually able to have a real strong voice and influence on kids that I could relate to or family, you know, because I feel like, you know, a lot of the times they just got these dudes that, you know, look like they're in the military or a cop, and they're telling them, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, you know. And me as a youngster, I'm like, bro, you ain't tell me what to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes you want to buck.
You've been there.
You know what I mean?
You've been there. You know what it's like.
So I know I can't, you know, even though sometimes I feel like talking to them like that, you know, I got to be patient and understanding. Be like, yo, that's a little me. Like, would I listen to myself if I'm talking shit to myself? No.
Exactly.
Hell no. I'm doing the opposite. So, you know, it's dope to be in this position.
That's awesome, man. I didn't even know you do shit like that. I had like, bro, you know, I'm going to tell you right now, I had a bunch of questions right here. I don't think I've even asked one or two of them. I have so many because I know you do a lot for the community, right? You do the barber talks at the university.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you linked up with the Utah sneaker convention, and, you know, I didn't know about that Decker Lake stuff, but man, you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Actually, last week I got done doing back to school haircuts for the Indian Walk-In Center downtown Salt Lake, and you know, that's dope too. You know, a lot of these kids, man, they never get fly haircuts. You know, they're in poverty. They're over there getting, you know, resources. So I'm able to bring my team and my people and go over there.
That's awesome, man.
So we've been doing that for, you know, 3 years. I'm doing another one this weekend at Redwood Elementary.
That's really cool, bro. That's really really cool.
That is amazing though, because like, we always talk about the youth and how it's our future, and the fact that you guys are doing something like so personal. Like you are taking the time out of your day to go ahead and do this because that means a lot to that kid that you did, or that you had to cut up or whatever. Because an opportunity like that never arises when you're young, right? It's either you have someone in your family that's going to do it, or man, I got bowl cuts up until I was like 11, 12 years old, dude. Like. And then my uncle was like, "No, what are you doing?" He told my mom and dad, like, "No, I'll cut his hair." And
it's true, man.
And then once a month, my uncle would just come through and cut my hair. And then I was like, "Man, I always have to get a haircut." I didn't
start getting fresh cuts until I made my own money.
You know,
until I started making my own bread. You know,
17, 18.
Exactly, 17, 18. I think that's when I started getting fresh like that, right? So I think it's really cool, man, because I know, you know, it might not be every single kid, but man, these kids are going to remember this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're going to remember all
this. Like you said, sponges, dude. They absorb everything. And that even means those moments. Those moments are going to be so big for them because, like, wow.
There's going to be one or two kids there that you cut up that you're really going to change their situation for them without even knowing it.
Yeah.
They're going to remember it, right?
And, I mean, I've been doing it long enough and been cutting people for a while. I've literally directly watched myself inspire young kids to be barbers. Like, I've actually told young barbers, like, yo, you should become a barber, and actually watch them become a barber. You know what I mean? So that's pretty fire because I've been doing it 10 years now. I'm so passionate about it. I'm so grateful. Like, it changed my life. So
it's crazy.
So when I see certain people and I'm like, yo, I see that dog in you, dog. You're about to be a barber.
It's crazy. I know we talked about it before the pod, but Barry mentioned that he knew you. He said that you were an instructor or something there while he was at the school and shit, you know? So it's dope, man.
Yeah. And it's cool to watch that too, like from the side. Like, yo, I remember teaching and seeing, you know, I remember Barry would just be putting everybody's hair in a man bun and cutting it hella high. And I'm like, bro, what you doing, dog? Like, it was so funny, man. And you know, he kept doing it until like one day I was like, hey, bro, like, you know, try doing this or that, you know? And you know, I don't know if I was the reason why he changed, but I definitely said something. Like, you know, because we was cool. I could talk shit. You know, like I'm not looking at Barry like, oh, I got to be like super professional. I'm just like, what's up, little homie? Like, you keep doing that same thing, bro. Like, you gonna ask for help or you gonna just thug it out? You know. So, but at the same time, watching Barry go through those struggles and work through them and become the barber that he has now, like he's
he goes crazy.
You know, when you open the door, I was like, damn, that's a fire taper. You know what I mean? Like, that's dope. Barry did that. You know, I ask people if they got fire haircuts. I always ask them. I'm like, yo, who cut your hair? I don't try to like poach clients. Or no, it's just more just okay. Where you know who cut you up? That's nice. So it's dope when I hear like people that I've watched struggle. Because everybody struggles in school.
Absolutely,
I struggled. I was messing haircuts up. Like, it was hard.
No, it's dope.
It took me like 2 years ago to Barry because I was watching him cut it. And like, my little cousin, you know, I watched them the way he was doing because that's the one thing that's important to me is I get a haircut every 2 weeks and I have to make sure same way it is every time, right? And like I gotta go get tomorrow. That's when it's scheduled. I gotta hit up Barry actually after this because it took me a while. And then I saw him getting cleaner around the ears. I saw him getting cleaner around in certain places. Like, okay, I can trust him now.
Yeah,
and it's true though because this is as a man, the one moment you really get to like sit down and do nothing is when you're getting your haircut. You just sitting there chopping it up. Like those barbershop talks, like that's a real thing. Like that's a moment for you to just wind down. Like you're getting taken care of right now. Hold on. Just like, and then that's why I started going to Barry. I was like, this is my little cousin. I can go chop it with him anytime I want. We can talk about whatever.
He's cool as hell.
He's great.
He got the perfect personality.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
he's good at it.
Like the reason why my homie told me, you know, like, I mean, I have barbers and I've seen every single different type of personality. And there's some people that's like, bro, if you didn't cut hair nice, you like, you know, you wouldn't be that busy. Because there's some people, bro, it's just hard for them. They're not social, you know.
It's
like,
true.
There's some people that just, you know, I mean, it depends where you grow up, who you grow up around, like who your family was, who your influence was, you know, and, you know, it's hard to be a good barber, to be honest, like, because it's not just skill. Like I look at it 80% personality and service and 20% skill, you know what I mean?
I agree.
I mean, part of that 80% is you're being teachable. So if you're teachable and you're cutting somebody, like, you know, I tell clients, like when I was newer, I'm like, hey, bro, look, I'm just starting out. I want to get to know your hair, like exactly how you want it. I want to get it done. Yeah. I might not get it right the first time, might not get it right the second time, but I'm going to lock in. I'm going to make sure I get you right, bro. So thank you for your patience and your trust, and I hope you come back.
Yeah.
I like that you have like a disclosure.
It's good to say that. No, absolutely, because then you're kind of almost like warning them a little bit, like, hey, you might not like it right away, but we gonna get you right. And I think
can take feedback.
Yeah. Let me know how I can. And I think Barry was like that with me because I have really hard hair. My son has really hard hair. He said the same thing to me and my son. He's like, hey, I might not get this food right like right now. Yeah. But give me a little bit. Let's see what works. Let's see what works. You know. And I think it's important that, you know, you're right. Some people are just there for the bread. They're just getting people on and off. They're getting people on and off that seat. They just want to get them all out, right? So I think it's good that you say that because you're right. Yeah. Not every barber is like that. I've been to some foods that just like I look at my shit, I'm like, damn, man.
I've had some people back in the day cut my hair, but because they didn't talk at all, I was like, dude, I can't. I fall asleep. I need someone to chop it up with, you know.
Hey, bro, it's weird.
Like sometimes
it's like, no, not even a hello. It's like same thing. Boom.
I've been to foods where I didn't even want to say shit. I just got off the chair, paid out, left, never came back. You know.
Sometimes clients are like that, which is cool. Yeah. Some people like that. I remember when I was in barber school, I go to cut this dude's hair, and I'm over here trying to be all friendly, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? How was your day?" He's like, you know, real dry. And then after like the third question, he's like, "Hey, look, man, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk, and just cut my hair." And I'm like, "All right."
For sure.
Did it hella fast, hella good. And I was like, all right, thanks, man. I didn't see him again, but at the same time, I'm like, it works.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
That's you know, you gotta adapt in barbering. You can't just be a cookie cutter barber. You gotta be able to be versatile.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely.
So when we want to go back to more questions about the business though.
Yeah.
So when you opened the first one, you move into an 8-seater. When did you like start expanding to now 3? Let's talk about that because you just had your 1 year in the Orem location.
Going
correct?
Crazy. Yep.
Congratulations on that.
Congratulations
that's a big milestone, especially if you doing this over the last 10 years and then figuring like the last 4 years has been like the biggest steps for you.
Yeah.
Right. The little steps are like what got you there. Cause like you said, going right on your motorcycle and like, I need to do something else. And then getting to a place now, and now you have 3 locations. That's and doing crazy. What you do too for the community is amazing. Like you've been doing so much over just the last 4 years. So when did you you said you sat down with someone and someone was talking to you, said that you were just getting too comfortable. Was that a moment for you? It's like, damn.
Cause that was the first shop.
Yeah.
You only had the one. And he says, hey, you're getting too comfortable.
Yeah. So, you know, he told me that. And, you know, I just started working towards like, okay, what can I do bigger, better? After my first shop, I decided to try doing SMP, which is scalp micropigmentation. It's like a hair follicle size tattoo that looks like hair that matches, you know, for people that are balding or thinning. It's pretty dope. I was like, yo, it's about to be game changing. Yeah. And I had a partner that, you know, I ended up partnering up with, and it was it's called Rejuvenate SMP. And I went to DC, went and got trained and learned and grinded, and you know, we ended up signing a lease to a new building, and like it was another business, and I was like, hell yeah. But it was hard. Like, it felt like I was playing that like operation game. You know, when you're a kid, you're just but I don't like that. Like I like to cut up, I like to chop it up, I like to move, I like to talk to the client. That was a little harder for me because I wasn't used to it. And then I still had the barbershop going on. I still had cuts going on. So I was just like, you know, I tried it out until about 2020. it just kind of got slower, and I started focusing more on barbering. And then an opportunity, I had a friend that was like, hey, so and so is closing down, and he has a whole bunch of chairs. Like, you should go buy some chairs. I heard you wanted to open another shop, because that was always in my mind. I need to open another shop, and I wanted to open one up in Orem because I cut at the Vivint events. So I was like, I got hella clientele in Orem. Like, I need to be out there. So then I go talk to the dude at the West Valley shop, and I was like, yo, what's up, man? Like, I heard you're selling, your chairs. He's like, oh, no, I'm selling the business. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't really want the business. How much for the chairs, He's like, nah, bro, like, I'm not, like, it's the shop. I'm like, all right, cool. How much you want? And I just kind of was like, all right. But at the same time, I was reading this book called Never Split the Difference. And it's just about negotiation. You know what I mean? And as I was reading that book, boom, this opportunity came about, and I was like, yo, I was like, all right, cool. I'm in this chapter. They're talking about you got to be able to walk away from the deal. So I just kind of was bullshitting. I was like, oh yeah, well, what about, you want this much? How about this? And I basically cut his price in half of what he was asking for the shop. And I just really wasn't even serious. I was just kind of off that book. And, I'm just in my head, I'm just like, I'm going to just try this out. I'm going to go beast mode right now. Like, how about this? How about that? What about this? What about that? And I just started going against, he'd be like, oh yeah, well, I paid $6,000 for the sign. And I'm like, well, that's cool, bro, but I'm taking it down and throwing it away. I got a Regal sign that I'm gonna put up there, bro. Like, This is a failing business. I don't want to use that name, bro. Like, no, I'm gonna rebrand. I'm gonna use my brand. Like, I'm gonna build what I built. You know what I mean? And then I got to do construction, and then you have no barbers, and then you have no clientele, and you got this and that. Well, next thing you know, bro, like I said, look, man, I filled out like a I don't know what it was. It was some type of sheet of your finances, and I kind of half-assed filled it out. And I tell the dude, I'm like, look, bro, they told me I need a cosigner, a guarantor for the business, and I had a house at the time, so I'm like, I could just put my house up, like I ain't tripping. But I told him, I said, look, bro, I own, I got 2 shops, I own a house, I make this much money, like, good luck finding a millionaire that's going to take over this lease, bro. But if you want to move, I got X amount, which was hella low, because that's what they teach you in that book. And I'll give you the check. I'll start on Monday, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? Let me keep 1 chair and you got a deal. And I'm like, damn. Like, I just bullshitted my way. Man. I bullshitted my way into it because I really didn't want it. Like, I wanted Orem.
Right.
But then I'm like, well, shit, West Valley's born, February 2020.
That's awesome, man. Wow.
How was that process then? Because you said February 2020, right before COVID, fully came out. So how was that being a business owner into a new business?
That's crazy.
Going through that then.
So right away, I had one of the best running shops that I've ever had. Like I had 8 barbers. Everybody was grinding. Everybody was good. I was like, yo, I couldn't ask for any better. I broke it down, put 4 at the new shop, 4 at the old shop, hired more people. I'm dealing with new people. I'm dealing with manager positions, leadership.
Wow.
And then bam, I get hit with COVID. And I still own part of Rejuvenate at the time. So, dude, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy times, man. Like, I went from just barely buying the business, basically just going all in on it to like, oh yeah, the health department says you got to shut down if you get caught cutting. It's a $10,000 fine, and we all know it was crazy times. Like we didn't know what the fuck to expect. It was just like, what the hell? So it was hard, man. And man, right away I just started thinking like, man, I got all these bills. I hit up, my landlords, and everybody was like, look, sorry, we all have obligations as well. Like rent still due. Like we don't have nothing we can help you out with.
Right.
Rent's due. We still got to pay our bills, whatever. So this is what it is. So I'm just like, damn, man. So right away, man, I hopped on Alibaba, and me and, my ex, we started a teeth whitening company.
Okay.
And we just ordered a hell of a shitload of, like, bro, I spent a couple G's, ordered a whole bunch, and then just got on my social media. It was like, yo, anybody want to buy teeth whitening kits, whatever. Man, we killed it between me and her.
That's crazy, man.
We made some money. And then I got on KSL, bought a 4-wheeler, flipped it, made some money. My homie, he was a tow truck driver. I bought a van from him and flipped it. And then
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, bro. Like I was in hustle mode, bro. I was like, yo, I got to do anything but sell drugs. So I just kind of started thinking about that. Like, bro, I did giveaways. I sold a lot of merch. People were supporting because not everybody didn't work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people still had money. And then even one of the other hustles, my business partner H with the Rejuvenate SMP, he was like, yo, bro, I got a plug on hand sanitizer in Vegas. We can go get it at this much, and then we'll bring it back and sell it for, double up. And I'm like, no way, let's go. So we went and got a U-Haul, got the fucking trailer, and took my truck all the way down to Vegas. Got all the 2 pallets of hand sanitizer, whole bunch of stinky ass gallons. I don't know if you guys remember how out of nowhere, bro, good. Hand sanitizer just smelled like ass. Like it was horrible. But we went and bought it, and just with my social media and people that I knew and the businesses that I knew, bro, I was able to sell the shit out of them, bro. And to where like the next week we're like, should we go get 2 more?
That's crazy.
And we did, bro. I rolled the dice and I said, yeah, let's go get 2 more. And we'll go get 2 more pallets. And by the time we came back, they're like, the news was like, yeah, so now we discovered that, hand sanitizer or like COVID doesn't live on flat surfaces, so you don't need sanitizer. And I was like, oh, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Killed us, bro. Like, we're like, damn. And my homie was like, you sure we should go get another 2? I was like, yeah, fuck it. Homie, roll the dice. Like, I take risks. I'm like, yeah, let's get rich or die trying, So we go, bro. And it was just, we crapped out. It sucked. But I learned a lot. Supply and demand, business, networks, I was able to just basically thug it out and just hustle my way through COVID to where I didn't go under.
Yeah. I feel like we all did, man.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we all made it work. We had to make it work.
COVID created some monsters for sure because it definitely opened us up to like, we're so grateful in a way that COVID did happen because we look back at that year and be like, we were one of the only houses that were still just kicking it.
We were just kicking it.
We were just like, people were coming here and they were like, yo, like, honestly, if we weren't kicking it in your guys' house, we probably would have went crazy during COVID. Yeah, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. But for real, on some real shit though, we bought every damn bottle of Hennessy in every liquor store to the point they changed the rule to where you could only buy 1 bottle of Hennessy. Yeah. We were just going
sell them out here.
We were just going out, and then like people were at home during COVID, so like, hey, what are we gonna do? Get drunk? Oh, there's no Hennessy. Let's go buy a bottle from them. So we were just selling them, making $15 on top of it.
Crazy.
Yeah, you called me after midnight, your bottle is $60, $70 now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's crazy.
It woke up some monsters because
it forces you.
Yeah,
it forces you. I mean,
you gotta make it work.
You just sit there and just
not do
either
shit.
There, you eat it up and just live your life and just work, or you have to figure it out because there was some shit going on that really like if you became an entrepreneur during COVID, you were like, damn, I can do something really after this. Yeah. Because you were finding anything. Like the hand sanitizer.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
That's like, I would have did the same thing. Yeah. I would have bought 4 pallets at one time. Like, let's go do it. And then the news came out. I'm like, damn, that shit sucked. Because that would have happened to me.
Yeah, I started learning about stocks. You know what I mean? Like all the stocks were down. I started doubling down on stocks. I made a 20K off stocks. You know, I was like, what the hell? I'm not no stockbroker or nothing, but that's crypto, true. I started doing NFTs. Like I just really just started looking into any different way to kind of, because that did show me too, like, oh shit, there's a hole in my hustle. Like we're a service industry. So if something like this does happen, which I never would have thought of it, like that just shows I can't just depend on one. Hustle,
it's very true.
I'm like, okay, that's why I started doing the products. I started doing the other things, because I'm just like, yo, like, what happens? Like they took away my motherfucking hands,
Yeah, it's true, man.
Like, bro, like my hustle, my business, I gotta pay everything, and I can't hire nobody. Like I'm done. Like for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, like, and then even after that, business was slow. Yeah, it would go with the news. Like if the news says some crazy shit, boom, no one would come in.
It's true.
It was horrible, man.
Absolutely.
So I had to learn how to maintain and not have high expenses and be able to weather those storms because. Shit, I showed everybody like, yo.
For sure. Because you're right. In the business of barber, everything's transactional. You got to come in to get a haircut to get this money.
Right.
So it's not one of those things where it could just be like they talk about like residual income and these things. Like it's very transactional. You're right.
Yeah,
Someone got to come in.
That first like 6 to 8 weeks of COVID was the hardest.
It was tough.
I cannot go to my barber. She was like, no, we can't open up. I was like, dude, I'm going crazy right now. My hair's getting long. What is going on? I'm freaking out. Then we find out the homie's going through barber school. He's like, yeah, I can come cut you up. I'm like, I'll take anything right now, to be honest. Just please.
Come through.
We had like 10 dudes in the back just getting cut up. And he's like, and he didn't even like go and finish. He just like, that's all he did. He was like, I'm going to cut you guys up. And I don't think I'm going to cut hair anymore, but I'll just be cutting you guys up during COVID. I was like, oh, thank you.
It's crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely, man. It's very true. COVID COVID either made or break you. You know, it was either like a make or break situation. It's like either like you just fucking all right, fuck it,
bro. There's still people that only get haircuts every holiday or like every once in a while because of COVID. Because they're like, oh, I work at home. I still work at home. I don't go nowhere. I could just shag it out. I don't need a cut.
Yeah, fuck that.
Even if I work from home, I would not shag it out.
Not my ideal client. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I like people that want to be fresh all the time. Like
Every
if you're
day.
my client, I want you to be fresh all the time.
Absolutely. Every week, man. I'm in there every week, every 2 weeks, sometimes almost every couple days, depending on the events going on, man. I'm getting cut up like every 4 or 5 days. Like if I got like back-to-back shit going on every week,
it's a luxury, man. It's nice. You look good, feel good, do good. You know what I mean? Like it's that's what I love about barbering, bro. You're giving confidence. You're helping somebody stay fresh. Like that appearance, right? Like I got business owner clients. I'm like, bro, you too much of a boss to not get a haircut every week. Like you need to be in here fresh. Like it shouldn't even. You should look like you have a haircut at all times.
Yeah, it's true.
Especially depending on the type of stuff you do. Like if you you know if you're in the public's eye, if you're talking to people, like if your persona is part of your business, like you need to be right all the time. So
that's crazy. And for those who don't know, you know, that West Valley location that we're talking about right now is right next to Tuk Tuk's. Okay. It's right next
Shout
to
out Jimmy.
Right
5-year anniversary just came by.
Going
Congratulations
crazy,
to you guys.
Congratulations to them over there too, man. You know, we were talking about it a little bit. 'Cause you said you're going to have lunch over there.
Yeah. Every once in a while.
You go have lunch over there. You said you get the pad thai.
Pad Thai.
Pad thai, right?
I can't believe you have the 3 or 4.
You said you're getting the spice level 3, 4, which is crazy, by the way.
I love spicy.
That's Asian spice. That's not even Asian. It's Lao spice.
Different. Huh?
That's Lao. That's a different spice.
I be sweating. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I leave them like, God damn, that shit was hot today.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like I said earlier, their spices always change. So I learned, like, I think from the grand opening, I went there. I was like, give me the 3. They're like, are you sure it's spicy? I'm like, I don't believe you. I was like, I can't even eat this.
Yeah.
I couldn't even eat the 3
hot.
because each dish has a different type of spice level. So you get like curry, they use a different type of chili for it. And then if you get like a noodle, there's like a dry spice on it. So you'll see like there's chili flakes on it. That's how they up the spice, right?
Because the curry you can mix into it. Right?
Yeah.
It kind of like
it absorbs it.
You kind of cut it a little bit, right?
But then
I gotta mix it up.
Yeah. I get the drunken noodle, level 1, level 2 sometimes if I'm feeling crazy. But that
any of the noodles, they're just throwing some dry shit right on.
They're
top
like,
of
here,
just mixing
go
it
take
up.
it. And that one bite you take is like, man, that's way different than the first bite I had.
Yeah, it's too hot. I'm the only level I go up to at most a 2.
Yeah,
I'm never going more.
I'm not gambling. I'm not gambling with their spices anymore.
Yeah,
I'm taking 2 or less.
Much.
That's it.
Yeah.
I got homies that go in there and say no spice, but it's still spicy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's because it's been on that walk. It's been on whatever. However they do it out
They
there.
ain't trying to roll the dice. They're trying to fuck up my meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when shit too hot, man, you ruin the whole meal.
Yeah, I applaud you for being able to get to a 3 though. Because like I said,
crazy.
like I can handle some spice. We had the hot ones challenge recently. I was like, I think
that.
You ever tried that spicy chip challenge?
Dude, my brother woke up and went to the hospital the next day.
No, my sister too. She went to the emergency.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's crazy because recently they had to take it off the shelves because that kid died.
It died, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he died from eating that. So like, okay, if you guys are watching this for sure, we did the one chip. We did the one chip challenge when it first came out. The hot ones challenge has nothing on top of that one chip.
Yeah,
I think the one chip is the hottest thing I've ever eaten in life.
That shit is hottest. That shit is black.
She ate a quarter. She ate a quarter. The wife ate a quarter, and she was like under the sink, like, oh my god, trying to drown herself because how hot it was.
Well, I seen you guys do. I said, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
It was me and 3 of my kids and my sister that did it, and I'm competitive. So me and my daughter, bro, like we just had a standoff, bro. And literally, we didn't drink nothing for past an hour, bro. Till it went away. No,
that's crazy.
On everything, but I got the video. But me and my daughter, but then my sister, my other boys, bro, they were over it. My son, like, fucked our whole milk up because he was just like, I'm like, bro, you got blue all over the milk. Like,
now I see why you can handle a 3 at Tuk Tuks. If you can do that for an hour after, you got a different type of spice level.
My daughter, bro, and then she's competitive too, so she's sitting there like just staring straight at me. And I'm over here talking. She's like, she told me after, she's like, I didn't talk because that makes it hotter. She must have done some research or something.
Yeah. I think the breathing, like coming in through your mouth, it just reignites the heat.
Yeah, you can't eat, drink, nothing. You have to just eat the chip and just meditate.
You said just chill out a little bit.
Yeah, just fight demons, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there are some demons. They have to fight some hot demons.
Yeah, sure. I ain't doing that.
That's our next challenge, actually. Sorry to let you know. sorry. Episode 200. We all doing the hot one. We're doing the one chip.
Man.
We're bringing back 30 guests next time for the one chip.
Sick. I'm gonna be sick 200 episode. I'm not doing it. I'm calling it out, man.
Yeah, that ain't no joke.
Yeah. Like I said, that was one of the hottest things I've ever eaten for sure. I think the hottest thing because of how it's a dry heat
versus the hottest thing I've ever ate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you guys are doing it out there, I applaud you guys. Because we got a homie. He used to be our roommate. He actually just, like the bomb, he puts on some carne asada fries every time he gets it.
Crazy.
He's just like this. I'm like, Tommy, there's something wrong with your stomach. There's something wrong with you. What is going on? You are the craziest man I know. He goes, yeah, I just like spicy. I'm like, not the bomb. Go get a different, different type of hot.
That's not
It's
spicy.
not even a good hot. It doesn't even taste good. He just wanted
spicy. It's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. I'm just thinking about it right now, bro. I'm
about to take him on a travel plan for off the menu and be like, hey man, I'm gonna take you to the hottest places in the world. Eat the hottest stuff.
Yeah, sure,
we're going to Death Valley. You're eating the bomb at Death Valley, just right in the bottom.
That's crazy, man. You know, I wanted to ask you something real quick though, because you talked about you wanted to be a coach for your son, and then we went in and you opened up a shop. You opened up the second. During all of that, though, you were able to make it, yeah? You went to all of his coaching stuff. Did you start coaching and
yeah. So I still
started
coached,
pursuing that, yeah.
But then, just over time, I didn't spend a lot of time with him, bro. Like because ideally that sounds nice, but when I do something, I'm all in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when it came to barbering, I went all in. Boxing, I'm all in. So I'm kind of halfway with both, which. Obviously, I wanted to real focus on boxing, but I couldn't. So then I shifted to business ownership, and I went all in on business ownership to where, like, I still had him at gyms, and I was still being able to coach him, but I wasn't there like I was before. And then around that time, he started kind of losing, you know, just it was just routine for him.
Yeah.
He was like, this ain't really fun, Dad. Like, I'm over here, like, you know, every day I wake up, it's the same thing, you know, like, because in my head, I'm like, yo, we're winning a national title,
right?
Like, we're going for the gold, like, we ain't.
That's what you were shooting for,
right? So after a while, it just was like 5 a.m. We'd wake up, go work out, or go on a hike, and they need to go to school, come home, and it was like, all right, do your homework, eat, and let's go back to the gym. You know, get home at like 9, and you know
it wasn't fun no more.
Bro.
It wasn't fun,
bro.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. Like, I wasn't all in. I was kind of like, all right, do this. You know, expecting him to just do it. But he's a kid,
right?
You know, like he didn't have a life compared to all the other kids,
right?
You know what I mean? So I was kind of like, yeah. So he decided to quit. I was upset for sure, you know, because I spent a lot of time and energy into that. But
I bet that taught him discipline, though, man.
Oh, dude, he's a great kid. Man.
I bet
he's strong. He has hands, bro. Like, like, you know, there's certain things you got to worry about with certain kids, and it's never like I don't ever look at him like, oh, he's gonna get bullied.
Yeah,
and in school, he never did.
Right,
and he's always stuck up for his families or his cousins or anybody. So he's always been like a real solid kid that's turning into a man, which he's like 19 now.
Yeah,
or almost 19, and he's good.
That's crazy, man. That's good. Good for you guys, man.
Yeah, so
this is
I stopped. It sucked, but at the same time, I appreciate the traveling.
Yeah,
the coaching, the father-son moment. Like, not a lot of people live life and have the opportunity to go to war with their son.
Yeah,
to wrap them up and say, all right, son, we got to go in there and we got to win. This is
absolutely.
us. Like you're about to fight a big dog right now.
Right.
Like that I'm grateful for that. He's had that, you know, the memories and you know, I don't regret none of it. I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
On to the next. It's gonna make him stronger for anything he does moving forward, right?
Right.
So,
people still know him. They're like, oh, what's up, Vinny? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you're a beast. You still box. You know, it's been a long time, you know, like 5 years, but you know, he still has that. It feels good to him.
Got that
you know,
dog
like, bro,
he
had trophies, a belt, you know, like a whole bunch, bro. Like,
that's awesome.
Not many kids can live their life and say, yeah, I grew up boxing. I have, you know, 55 fights.
Yeah.
I had a room full of trophies. You know what I mean? Like that to me is dope.
That's dope, man.
But it got me to barbering.
So it's crazy, man. I'm hearing, you know, we're talking about your story, bro. You do a lot, man. Like you're doing a lot. How do you keep your head straight, bro? You're running 3 businesses. You over there with your son. You're coaching. You're talking to different. You know, you're inspiring people. You're trying to tap in with the communities and you're instructing and all this. Like, bro, how do you keep your head straight? What do you do?
Man, I mean, I think one of the big things is I find mentors and try to be around people that are doing way more than me, that make me feel like I'm not doing anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've had a lot of great mentors, and which is a lot of my clients, and I'm able to educate myself and read and work on the things and have self-awareness that, like, if certain things are holding me back from growing my business, I'm attacking that. Right. Like if I have a hard time with leadership, I'm reading, the 5 levels of leadership by John C. Maxwell, and really dialing in and figuring out, okay, why am I not working out?
I love it.
Okay, why is my manager having a hard time?
Right.
What do they got to work on? Where, how do I get past this? Like, when I see, when I come to like roadblocks, it's like, all right, this ain't a roadblock. Like, how am I? It's not stop and turn around. It's like, okay, how am I going to get over this or get around it or build a bridge? You know what I mean? So I try to keep that mindset and focus on the things that I struggle with.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
A lot of the times, if it's not a mentor telling me directly, he'll even tell me and then guide me and recommend a book. Yeah, and I'm grateful that, number one, I'm open enough to even do that. Some people got too much pride to even open up and be like, yeah, bro, it's actually struggling right now. Yeah. A lot of people got pride and ego, you know, and I was able to kind of put that shit to the side and look at the bigger picture.
I love it, bro.
And have the right people to help guide me and or tell me what to do or show me the book.
I love it, bro. You said never split the difference. I wrote that shit down. It's in my notes right here, right now. I'm about to read that.
When you're about to go into negotiation with anything,
we're going
you read
crazy.
that book, bro,
I'm reading that book.
You're gonna be dialed.
It's the first thing I buy when I'm off this. I'm buying this book on Amazon. Reading this.
That book made me a lot of money.
Yeah,
just that one book at the right time.
That's so crazy, man.
That's crazy because you weren't even done with the book, and it still taught you enough during that. That one moment, it was like, damn, I'm gonna use this right now.
Well, and then the way I looked at it too, I was just like I'm childish, low key. Like I'm just like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna do this shit. I'm gonna clown around. I'm gonna fuck around and see if it works. I'm gonna say, hey, what about this? But low key, I was like serious in doing it, but I wasn't trying to get a shop, and it worked.
Yeah.
No, my man, like just a little bit of guidance from some outside perspective. Like books, because you mentioned books earlier, you know what I mean? Like just reading certain books and getting that guidance that like maybe we don't have nobody to tell us that directly. But then the books are talking directly to us. They know our situation.
100%.
You know what I mean? So that, I mean, if I got any advice, is like, yo, read books. Yeah. Listen to books. You know, get in them books, because I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for the books. Yeah. I wouldn't be where I'm at.
For sure, man. For sure.
Because I wasn't reading no books in high school or growing up, bro.
Me neither,
I read in prison, read a couple books, but
I just started reading like 5 years ago. Like during COVID.
That's a long time.
Like during COVID, I started reading books and shit. I started gaming myself.
That shows that you're like, okay, we're going through some hard times. I need to really level up. Exactly. I'm sure that probably really came at the right time where
absolutely
you're like,
100%.
Why ain't I been reading books?
Yeah, 100%. You read one and you're like, wow, like let me try to read something else. But I've never heard of that. Never Split the Difference. I'm about to read that. That's my next book I read.
Money.
That's crazy, man. That's a money book. It sounds like it. That's good, man. Bro, I had a list of like 20 questions, and you answered every single one of these questions without me having even to ask.
Hell yeah.
Which is awesome. This is
amazing episode.
It's crazy. I love it, man. Yeah. Like you've been going crazy. Appreciate I already said it, bro, but your determination, just that will, not a lot of people have that will in them that do whatever it takes. And I can tell just in the last 2 hours, almost 2 hours that we've been talking, bro, you got that in you, bro. And you are inspiring people. You're doing things that it would probably take people more than 30, 40, 50 years to do. You're doing things that people would do like when they're OGs, right? And it's crazy to hear all these things, bro. I didn't lie. I'm proud of you, bro. Just sitting here listening to this come on, you made it like straight out the mud, bro. Like straight out the mud with it.
You lived the lifestyle that we grew up around.
Exactly.
Around the same people that did that, but didn't go in the direction you did. And it shows what perseverance, determination, all that stuff you listed before. That's that whole program. They did their job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really did. Honestly, like it's crazy because we can knock stuff in life, but that little thing, accountability thing really took you to that, to where you wanted to be. And it's amazing that you also had a mentor that saw something else in you. He's like, I don't care if you got to cut hair for your life, but you got to use your personality the way you do. And maybe this is where you should start.
Right.
Because maybe that was right. Maybe that one moment where he said, I think you should do this. It maybe didn't mean you have to be a barber for the rest of life, but it brought you to where you're at right now.
And I think this is such like I'm excited for this episode to come out. You know why? Because people say things like this to other people, because people see, like, I see certain things in people. I say it to them. I'm not just saying it to like, I'm not saying it to gas anyone up. I'm saying it because I see something, right? And sometimes that's why I think this episode is so good, because you took that, you understood, and you didn't understand right away, right? But you understood what was said to you, and you took that and you ran with it. And I mean, bro, look where, I mean, man, you go tell your 18-year-old self that what you're doing right now.
I'll be tripping.
3 businesses and talking to people at Decker Lake,
that's
and
the big homie.
you know exactly, right? So it's like, man, these are all big things that you've accomplished so far, bro. And you're not even done yet.
Right.
You're
right. With the way you think, the way what you're talking about, bro, right now, you're not even scratching the surface.
Bro, you're going
you
so
have
far.
so many plans and ideas and things that you want to do. Like,
you're gonna take it there.
You seem like the type of person that wants to accomplish a lot of things, and you want to make sure that your family can do the same, and the people around you. I love that you're so community bound and so family bound.
That's what I'm saying. It's
you
like,
want everyone to do it.
It's everyone to do it, and we're not just talking about the ones close to you. We're not talking about the family. Like, bro, the Decker Lake thing, the cutting kids up in those spots. This is all things that are bigger than you, and I feel like you know that, and you know that it's just like, man, to you it's nothing. I want to do it, like I need to do it. It's almost like a thing where you feel like you need to do it, and it's good. It's a good thing. Like,
as being young, I've been through so many crazy life experiences. Like, I've wrecked 2 motorcycles. I've flipped a car upside down. Younger, I've been in shootouts. Like, thankfully I'm here. Right. And sometimes I think back and reflect. I'm like, damn, like, that's God telling me, like, you got a bigger purpose. And for me, I feel like my purpose, I found it, is to help other people.
Absolutely.
And inspire and help push other people. You know, and like, all my scars and all the dumb shit I did, bro, like, that's all just part of my story. That way I could be more more impactful, and really more influential towards the people that really need it. Because the people that I try to help are the people that need it the most, that are the hardest headed, and been through the hard things, to where I'm like, I can actually reach that. You know, like, I talk to my homies and cousins that are in prison still, and I got my big homies looking at me like, looking up to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I grew up watching them, and wanting to be like them.
And it happens like that a lot of the times nowadays. For sure, it's gonna happen more and more often. We're gonna see that more and more. Our OGs are gonna look at us and like, man, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for what you're doing. Because we should be, man. Like, these are big things that we're doing. Like, especially you, for me, for Tay. Like, we're doing big things. We're not where we want to be yet, but man, we did not go one direction. That's all that matters, right?
It's the journey,
we're allowing people after us, and sometimes even people before us, to learn from not having to make our own mistakes. Right. You get to learn from other people, like your journey, your story. People listen to me. I don't make the same mistakes that I did.
Yeah, like I learned the hard way. You don't want to be like me.
You don't want to do that.
No,
right?
I'm telling you, so you could skip the hard parts.
Exactly.
Shortcuts. That's all we are.
These are best.
The way I
shortcuts.
look at it is, if you're feeding information positively, you're just a shortcut to someone else's life.
Right. Absolutely.
Skip what I did and go do this.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
Right. That's how we look at life.
Exactly.
We had to go through that journey, and that journey sucked.
Right.
But that journey taught us who we are, and that's going to teach people not to be like that.
Because I feel like that was the only way we learned from our uncles. Our uncles made so many mistakes growing up. They're still dealing with the consequences till this day. Right. And they, every time I'm on these phones with him, he's calling me. He's like, just don't do what I did. Like, go do something else. Don't take this path. And bro, I'm thankful for that. I've never joined a gang in my life because of it, right? Because I was so scared of this life that he was living. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, I'm not doing this shit. I see my grandma cry. I see my mom's cry. I see,
you see the residuals.
You see all these things that happen from it, right? And I'm like, I definitely don't want to do that. Yeah. And I'm thankful for it, man. And you should be thankful and grateful too. We all should be thankful and grateful to be in these positions where we don't have to do what our past OGs did to get respect and all the other shit that they did it for whatever reasons it was. Yeah. Because I know we get, me and Tay, for you, especially you people respect us on a much different level than some of the people before us, right? So it's a beautiful thing, man. And I'm happy you're here, bro. I'm happy you're here to get to tell the story, and you're not even done with the story. You're continuing to make the story, and you're gonna keep going.
You're writing your own book right now.
You're writing your own book, bro. And
when it comes to it, someone's gonna look at it and be like, "Damn, this is something that I needed." Because you never know what's gonna happen, and you never know what that person that wakes up and listens to this podcast, or I hope you write a book now.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it. You're gonna write a book. I feel like you're going to write a book.
Yeah, you need
to. It's crazy
because with what you did in the last 2 hours, you have so much more to offer.
Absolutely,
and
man.
Someone needs to read it.
I'm telling you, I could sit here for hours. We could chop it up forever, bro.
Right? Yeah. No,
about this shit, you know, it's crazy, you know. So I love it, man. And I hope you know this episode gets to the people that it needs to get to, because this is a very informative episode. There's a lot of gems in here, man. A lot of stuff that people need to hear.
The whole episode's a chef special.
It's the whole thing, man. You know, because we do have a segment on the show called the Chef Special, and you know we'll get to that. I'm just saying you're going crazy, bro, and we're proud of you over here, bro. I'm so glad we got to sit down with you and go crazy over here, and keep doing what you're doing, man. Whatever it is you got going on, event wise, whatever. We didn't even get to talk about that. Like, man, like you teamed up and linked with the Utah Sneaker Convention, and you know that's what I'm saying. You're doing these little things that make such a big difference to everybody.
Side quests. That's what they're calling it now.
You
got side quests going on right now.
Side quests.
You got your checkpoints in, but you still conquering. Like you're doing the side quests right now.
It's crazy, man. I love it. I love it so much.
You're just leveling up. That's how we look at it. You know, like in the gaming world, with these guys, like they call it side quests and stuff because you're just trying to level up. You're trying to make yourself better, right?
Yeah.
And then when you finally get to that point, you're like, you know, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Right. You're always ready. It seems like right now you have your head on straight to the point where it's like, if something came up, it's like you would figure it out. Yeah. And that's the one thing I like. Hearing your COVID story is so similar to our COVID story. It's so crazy because I love to hear those stories. That's why I asked, like, how did you run your business? How did you get things going? Because some people is take flight or just stay on the ground, right? And you got to fly. You got to keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think I heard one part in your story where you ever gave up. And that's why I think this episode specifically is very important. Because you were so determined. I don't think I ever heard you say, I give up this whole time. Not once.
He's like, I'm against the odds. That's what it is. Like, the odds are stacked against you, and that's what he looked at it.
The underdog.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
Gives me that fire. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. I love it, bro.
Not all the time though. Sometimes I'm like, damn, come on, man.
It's like, really today? Yeah, it happened. I'd be like that too.
I got, you know, we talk a lot about, you know, business and all these other things. You spend time with your kids and all these other things. Bro, what do you like to do for fun? How do you enjoy yourself? Like, you know, what are you doing on your off days?
I love cars.
Okay.
I got a Grand National that I'm, you know, I love cruising.
Okay.
I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love traveling.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been to as many countries as I'd like. Like I've been to Mexico. I've been to Guatemala. I've been to Puerto Rico, which is
going crazy.
But yeah, man, I love traveling. I love eating good. I love,
Absolutely.
Love kicking it with my kids, man. I love working on myself.
Good.
Yeah. So
good.
Family time, man. Is you know that's
man. I love it.
That's definitely got me where I am right now. Is family time is before I didn't really prioritize it, and the more I prioritized it, the better, you know, things got. So,
absolutely.
That's the hard part about business sometimes. Like, I love building, I love business. So then I'm conflicting myself. I'm like, I love my business, but I got to spend time with my kids. So being able to kind of balance that and make it all work, sometimes it's hard, you know, because I don't feel like I'm the best father I can be because I'm so focused on business and my kids are getting older. Like 2 of my older kids my daughter's about to be 18, my other son's about to be 17. So to me, I'm like, damn, the real fun part is well, I'm not going to say the real fun part because every time your kids grow, it's just different fun. Right. But they're not kids no more.
Yeah.
And my job now is like, how do I teach them not to go through the bullshit I went through? Right. And I can influence a kid at DT 20 times easier than my own kid. I deal with my kids. I'm like, man, you're a little me. Like, oh my God. Like, I don't even know. I'm just like, yo, crazy, why? Man. Like, why? So
it'd be like that for sure.
You know, but I enjoy it. You know,
absolutely.
To me, it's a problem that I need to solve. And the more I read books and the more I work on myself, the better of a father I become. And I could really be present in those times, and I don't have to be upset, and I don't have to be like, it's, you know, it's just teaching. Because I'm getting older, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, you probably know better than I do. I feel like balance is always going to be something you struggle with in life when it comes to work and money and kids and quality time and family. I feel like it's always just that those are things
people that don't have
exactly
kids, they got the businesses and do this and that, but then they want family more.
Right.
So that's their balance. They're just like, yo, you know.
He's like, where does that come into play? Right. You got to balance that in. You got to put it in. It's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Just have the kids, get the business, and just balance it the best you can, man. That's my only advice. It's crazy. Bro, it's been a good 2 hours, bro.
Has it been 2 hours?
We're right at that 2 hour mark right now.
Crazy.
Bro.
Crazy, because this felt like an hour still.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it,
man.
right. But in this episode, like you said, is so informative to the people that are listening. Make sure you guys have listened to it all the way through, because this has been one of those episodes you listen to. It's like, man, I can really change my life if I really wanted to. Yeah. You seem to have, you may not have all the control of what happened or the outcomes in your life, but you had the control of changing those and rewriting them. Right. You didn't have to stay and go in the same direction that everyone else did in your family or your friends or whatever, what was going on around you.
Exactly.
You took those things and said, I can't do that anymore. I got kids. I got someone else to worry about. And when that comes into play, those are the big things. Like we talked about you and respect that we have so much for you about. You had Mikey at 15.
Exactly.
And I saw the transitional moment for you. I saw you pivot.
Right.
You were doing the stuff that we were doing.
Right.
But then you were like, nah, I got a kid. I got to really wake up right now.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to see it with you.
It's
having kids
crazy.
young. I've had barbers that work for me that's just like, oh yeah, my life's been so tough. I'm like, yeah, what happened? Well, I had kids young.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. Yeah. You know, and
I've never seen my life like that ever.
No. I mean, yeah, he's definitely different from me. I mean, to me, I'm like, yeah, bro, like, when'd you have your kids? Oh, 21. I'm like,
I'm grateful for my kids.
Two by the time I was
exactly,
you know what I mean? Like 18.
Man, I don't know where I would have been without having a kid. That's
what
young,
accelerated
man.
you, though. You had to grow up. You guys had to put yourself in the position.
Like, man, I grew up with
my kids.
You weren't going to succeed in those moments, like
never.
but you knew that you had to succeed.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm so grateful for my first son, man. I'm so grateful for my firstborn. He don't know. He changed my life like that for the better for all of us, for everybody. And, you know, it's crazy, man. And I can never appreciate it more, bro. I can't even put it into words how thankful I am for him, because my life would be so different without having a kid that young and just, you know, having to make those shake and move moves and, you know, getting into a different mindset, because my life could have been so different. Right. And I'm grateful, man, where I'm at right now. You know, we're owning businesses. We're taking care of family. I got family working for me now. We're doing, you know, we're doing big
that's a blessing.
things. You know, it's like,
you know,
it's cool.
We were struggling getting jobs. Now we can give jobs to our family.
Exactly. And I feel so good, man. You know, I wouldn't trade this. I wouldn't
you hiring?
I wouldn't do anything different. No, not yet. I got you though. We'll get you.
He can't afford me. That's why.
We'll get you. Yeah, he's too much, man. He's too much.
I offer a lot, okay? I offer a lot.
Bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're excited, bro, and you know, bro, we got to get a part 2 in, man. I don't feel like this episode was long
enough. We need
enough.
a part 2 at the shop. That's what we need to do. We get at the West Valley shop. Let's go there.
Hard.
We'll go over there. Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
we got to do it, man.
We have to. I talk about doing part 2s a lot, but like I want to reach back out. If you guys want to do a part 2, let's do a part 2.
Bro,
but this one, I really need
this
to go.
one is gonna happen.
We need more.
This one, for sure. We gotta run this one back, man.
I'm 35, but I feel like I'm 50 with all the wisdom
absolutely
and the bullshit that I've done. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I feel like
I still
that
act
too.
like I'm 16. So, you know, imagine that.
We love it, man. We love it. It's all good things, bro. And you know, that's why you're gonna go forward, bro. You're in that mindset already. You're still fairly young, bro. You're gonna go crazy, man. You're gonna make it like that, man. And your kids.
You know what we do? Next sneaker convention, we always vend there. We always get there.
Yeah.
We have to do a live panel with you and talk about what's going on. A live podcast. We need to just do that. We'll bring our stuff over. We get on the stage. Yeah. We can just do that for like even the beginning episode.
That would be crazy.
We can do it.
Let's do it.
That would be crazy.
That would be fire.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think it would be dope.
Let's do it. You know,
I feel like more people need to hear your story, man. So wherever we can get you some spots to tell them, man. We got to get you in.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, shit, man. You know, I got to get home.
You got kids.
I would love
too.
to sit here and talk with you all day, man. We'll
balance
we'll go
about,
crazy.
man.
You know, we'll go crazy. You know, we're gonna make it happen. We need a part 3, 4, 5, 6 on this one for sure, man. But you know, we do have. You know, you've been dropping gems this whole time, bro. I can't lie. This is one of my favorite episodes. I say it all the time, but this one right here, bro. This is a good episode. I'm telling you. But we do have one segment on the show. We call it the Chef Special. It's just free game advice. Anything that you would want to say to the viewers that we have, your younger self, anybody. You know what's the Regal Chef Special, man?
So I'm gonna go with pay it forward. If you're blessed,
I love it.
If you love where you're at, don't gatekeep.
Absolutely.
Share it. If it's some game, if you see someone struggling next to you, you work with them. You know, be your brother's keeper. Help them out. You know,
absolutely, man.
Don't ever think that's gonna take away from you, because me giving to whoever I gave, I've taught people to open their own shops. I've taught people everything. That's never took away from me.
Never.
If anything, it always builds more. Like the more I give, the more I get. Especially when I give selflessly with expecting nothing in return. So, you know, if I were to, drop a gem, it's like, pay it forward.
I love
if
that
you're
one,
blessed,
man. I love it.
Start blessing.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that, because that's how people always. People will always ask why I have an obsession with the Fast and Furious franchise. It's weird, but then I always tell them, it's like, I learned a lot about being like a family member from that. Like the way it may be fictional to a lot of people, but to me, I took a lot of key points of that.
Yeah.
Right. And then so a lot of that stuff that you just talked about is like, nah, man, I'm here to help. I'm here. You need me.
Absolutely.
You call me, whatever it is, I will help whatever with my capabilities and whatever I can do. I'm gonna help you.
Whatever it is, if I am in the position to do, I will do it for you. No problem. You ain't gotta think twice. You ain't gotta be scared to ask. I'm the same exact way, man. I think that's a very good Chef Special, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, damn. Go ahead. You closing. That was
damn. Man, this is a good episode. Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, thank you for coming on,
guys,
bro.
Man.
Thank you so much. This episode 102, man. Off the menu. Albert Archuleta, man. Regal Barber. Go get a cut, man. Go get a cut for the man. Go get some inside yourself on the chair, man.
Yeah.
He gonna go
Everything
crazy
will be in the description below. Locations, whatever it is. We're gonna put all the social media down there. Make sure you guys go follow, because, hey, man, if you can sit with us, and this is the first time we ever chopped it up for 2 hours. Go sit in that chair with him. Yeah. See what game you can get.
Go see what you can get, man.
Yep.
Absolutely. Albert, bro, if you got anyone you want to shout out, anybody, go ahead and do it right now, bro. Go ahead.
Shout out to my mom, my family, and everybody around me that supports. You know, I got a strong support system with friends and family, and I'm grateful for every single one.
Absolutely, man.
Shout out to him.
Off the menu, episode 102. Albert, man. Thank you so much, brother. We'll see you next time, brother. Soon. We're going to see you soon, man.
Peace out, y'all.
Thank you, guys.